Trash is filmed in front of a live streaming audience.
I already screwed it up, Cheg.
Whoa,
I had one job.
Restart.
I had one job.
Oh.
It was to put that
You're not
down.
fast enough. That's what it is. I see.
I feel like I should just leave it on there, right? Like we should just leave that. That's part of the charm of our first episode. All right. Hey, chat, I would like to welcome you to Smash or Trash. This is the first ever time we're doing this. Maybe the last time, but I think if it's popular, we can do it again. With me, of course, here we've got Just Cheg. What is Smash or Trash? I'm going to give you a brief description of what it is. This is a World Warship style chat show or discussion show. We're going to talk about ships. And we're going to decide if they're smashable or trashable. We either love the ships or hate them. It's a binary decision, and we have to agree. If we don't agree, well, then we've got some gamification tools. We're going to have vetoes, which you can use, and there's actually an emote in the chat for you guys to use. Me and Cheg each have 3 vetoes. So if I disagree with what Cheg says about a ship and we cannot agree, I'm going to veto what he says, and that means that I win. If he vetoes me before I veto him, then that means that Cheg wins. If I've vetoed or Cheg has vetoed and we still disagree, you get one Uno reverse card, which ends the argument right there, and the person who played the Uno reverse card wins. I don't know how much we're going to disagree, Cheg. We have different opinions about ships. What are your thoughts about this game, about this dumb thing that we're doing?
So first of all, I want to give credit to Mr. Sin in Style.
Yes, I'm so glad.
Who is the fellow World of Warships enjoyer and can be found in many channels as a moderator. And it was his idea that we worked on, especially Clyde.
Yeah.
The difficult thing for me will be not to troll. Because
no, I think
if I know it's your favorite ship, it's gone.
There's some expectation of trolling. I think that's part of the game. Like at the end of the day, like I'm gonna share my real, no kidding opinions, and I think you will. But like at the same time, a little trolling I think is expected. I think that's part of the game. Yeah, like you said, big shout out to Sin in Style for saying, hey, he actually gave us the name, and then from there the ideas ran all on their own. The show basically kind of created itself.
He also will not be able to watch this live, unfortunately, but maybe it ends up on YouTube, so we'll see.
Mari says
this ends up on YouTube. Hi, Mom. I had to.
I love the idea that you think your mom is subscribed to my YouTube channel.
Well, I send her links and she watches whatever.
That's true. So. She probably would watch. That's great. Hello, Mama Cheg. We're glad to have you watching this show. Again, Smash or Trash. It's binary. We're going to have some debates and discussion. We will definitely. There's a scene here that has an area for chat to show up as well. We're definitely going to be interested in trying to talk with you guys a little bit about this too. We want this to be interactive for the folks who are here live. If you're watching this later on YouTube. You're not here live, but you can leave comments down below, and I can at least say that I'll try to get in there and answer some comments. Cheg, you'll probably pop into the comments section
100%.
and answer some comments for folks too. So certainly engage with us down there in the comments section, and of course, if we do this again, we'll make sure that we announce it not only on the YouTube channel page, what's it called, the community page, but also in the Clyde Plays Discord, and we'll talk about it on other live streams over on Twitch, twitch.tv/Clyde Plays Live, and potentially twitch.tv/JustCheg as well. We'll put all those links down in the description below. I think without a whole lot of further ado, we should probably just get started. Any other thoughts before we go? Yeah, go for it. Go for it.
Everyone needs to understand that you didn't make a disclaimer. We are strict professionals. And what we say about the ships that we're going to talk about randomly chosen is absolute truth. And you have to, use that as your guideline for the future reference. Trolling has started. Okay.
I don't even know how to respond to that. I don't even know how to respond to this. That's insane.
Totally opposite of this, by the way. So,
obviously, everything is... No, that means... Yeah. No, go ahead.
I just want to mention, because I'm being called out already in the chat that you guys cannot see on YouTube, but we can see it in Twitch, that I am missing my mustache, and that's well, we're gonna pretend that that's because of the little emote that you can see under us.
Oh, that's true.
Clyde, when he designed my emote, what was it, like a year and a half ago? decided I don't have stash, so here we go.
I don't. Don't
we're
blame
just
me.
mimicking it.
He did this
So
all
people
by.
know
He
what
did
it
this
is,
all by
like
himself.
that's all. I'm
No.
also bold, just like an emote. So there you go. It's real.
It's fantastic. So let's jump over to our other scene here. Now this is generally what it looks like. I got the Selectomatic fired up. We're going to use Selectomatic to choose the ships at random. What I did was I ran through, there's a list of 500 or 600 ships that Selectomatic can handle, and I chose 20 of them at random using a script. And it basically, there's 20 boats in here. I have read the list, but I don't remember what's in it. And so it's not that I don't know like anything that could possibly come up, but it's basically there. You've never seen them. Yeah, it's going to be cold for you.
Nope.
Over here, I've got my vetoes, and Chegs are on that side. So we have little buttons where we can spend the vetoes like so. Okay. And then we have our Uno reverse card. Remember, that is the most powerful consumable that we have in this game. That is the I win and nobody can say anything about it. In fact, if you spend the Uno reverse, even an Uno reverse can't save you. That's just the way that it goes. Now, like I said, we're going to basically hit the spacebar, bring up a ship. We'll talk about that ship for a couple of minutes. We'll interact with you guys. We'll answer any questions or respond to some of the comments. If we can't get to your comment, it's pretty ridiculous because it might just mean that we got a lot of comments, right? Or something like that. So, don't be disheartened if we're unable to respond to everything. But then at the same time, do share your stuff. We might get into an impasse where we ask for you guys for help. And so definitely let us know if there's a way that we need to go, if you've got an idea. Cheg, are you ready for our first ship?
I'm about to Americanize myself with ice cold Dr. Pepper.
Oh, I should go get one.
That was specifically, purchased for this situation.
Sure.
And after a first sip, I am ready to go against Clyde. Let's go.
Against? Now, hang on. I think we're coming off with a bad idea already. All right. So our first ship of the day. All ships, El Skinto, are included. Okay, our first ship of the day is Oktobraskaya Revolutsiya. This is a Tier 5 premium Soviet battleship. You could get this for free a long time ago. You used to be able to get it for free from completing a mission when it very first came out. This was the first ship that came into the game that had a limited number of damage control parties. And now I think it's a coal boat, right, Cheg?
It is a coal boat. So you can technically still get it for free. You don't have to pay for it. And it's probably good ship to get for coal so that you don't get them in like super containers or Santa containers.
Your opinion's already coming out.
Disappointment. Well, I'm not really. Just you can get some higher tier ships. That's why it's just not that expensive. And you might be surprised. I don't know. I mean, I do think this can be a very enjoyable ship to play. So,
yeah, I think your comment though is because you can get the ship for free.
Yeah.
Why get it out of a Santa crate, which you paid money for?
Low tier, right?
Yeah, it's exactly. Cheap enough to buy for coal. So that's a good strategy to use for sure. I'll say that I like Oktobraskaya Revolutsiya. She has a couple of problems. Like you have to be kind of broadside to use all of her guns, but she's got 12 not big guns. I think they're 356s if I remember correctly. But it's got 12 guns. It's a big broadside that you can lob over there. For me, this is a pretty good boat for low tier. I'd have a hard time being super negative about it. What do you think?
She was one of my first like money makers many years ago. I think I actually got her from some container or something. And the first thing was like, oh, that's a lot of barrels. They do not traverse is horrible.
Yes, they're very slow.
The speed is very bad. However, you can, especially if you get if you get into a game against like tier 4s, tier 5s, my God, you can get like one cell with like 3-4 citadels. It happens. So I think this ship specifically is like very average for a new player, which is when you usually get it. But if you go back after years of playing, it can be an absolute menace in right hands because you know how to position yourself. And then there's a lot of firepower coming out of this. However, a big problem with this ship is playing against tier 7. you're kind of useless. You can't even be a proper bullet sponge, right? So I think she's kind of balanced for what she's trying to be. And if you're lucky, you can grind quite a bit of credit still, and but I do. I'll say
you're like really Smash. Thinking it through.
Because
yeah,
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because it's still a ship that I will go in and play. That's and it's rare for tier 5 because we do have, like, if there's a battleship, both of us have a lot of ships, most of them, if not all of them. And like I do have Julius Caesar, right? So that's like your go-to. But if I end up in Oktobraskaya Revolutsiya, I can have fun playing that ship. And therefore, like, I'm not disappointed that I'm going to play this ship at all.
Right.
So therefore, I'm just going to give it smash.
Yeah, I think I'm on the same boat, right? When I was thinking about smashing and trashing, I was like, is this a boat that I'd be happy to play? Would I choose it sometimes? Like you just said, is it going to be able to be chosen over Julio? Maybe not, right? Like if you're really saying, am I picking the boat to win? Well, you'd choose Julio probably, but sometimes you just play Julio. So what are you going to play next, right? Or something like that. Or if, I use the Selectomatic as a random ship chooser on my stream. If this boat comes up, I'm like, oh, cool. I have good memories of playing this boat as a newer player and really enjoyed it. And so for me, this is a smash ship for sure. So I think this is a smash.
Yeah, definitely.
More thought?
And that's the first one. I just want to add to this. Someone asked about what's the criteria for smash or trash? Or what's the criteria for trash?
Oh yeah.
I don't think we have it specifically, but it can be that the ship is exceptionally good, or that it's just fun to play, or whatever. Like, I think if we enjoy playing the ship, that would be a smash, definitely. And then, vice versa. If ship is extremely bad, or in our opinion, or just not enjoyable to play, which I have some ships that people will disagree with me on my trash choice for sure.
Yes.
But I just don't enjoy playing it, and that's it. So we don't really have a criteria, but I think it's just how you feel about it more than anything else.
That's exactly right. And I think that allows for good conversation, which is kind of the reason why we didn't describe like specific criteria. We didn't want it to be math based, right? I like math based like rubrics and scoring things. This show's kind of trying to be the opposite of that. And so like you just said, like, do I have fond memories? Do I love the ship? Love does not mean it's good. It just means I love it, right? Do I have a fun time? Can I do without it? Maybe it's trash. If it's a ship that if it was gone from the game, I would never notice it again. That's fine. That's an easy trash for me. And I think we'll see that develop as we proceed. But I think we've just agreed that this is a smash ship. Am I right?
We started on a good one, yeah.
We did.
I mean, good, like, agreement, right? And I'll give you another example.
Yeah.
Is like both of us play alt accounts, and very often I play like what I call 0 to hero, but like start fresh to see how the new player experience is. And if I get this ship early on a new account where I don't have Julie or some other tier 5 insane ships, then I'm happy with it. I'm okay with this ship.
And let's remember that people don't.
I wouldn't spend money on it, but I'd be happy to get it.
And don't forget, people can't get Julio. So take that out of the equation, right? In general, right? Yeah. So like, anyway, I'm going to press a button over here that says we smashed this ship. Here it goes.
Yep.
She's smashable.
I did not expect this ship to come up first, definitely.
All right, let's go to our next one. Oops, I hit the wrong button. There we go. The next boat, oh my gosh, we're going to the complete opposite end of the spectrum, the Kunming. Cheg, do you have this one?
Well, anyone who knows me knows that I don't have this ship.
Because you don't have super ships, right?
But I know all the super ships and how they play. And I mean, I played every Tech 3 ship in the game many times. Therefore, her predecessor is one of my favorite ships. But I'll tell you right now, man.
You're talking Yunang or Chengmu?
Both. I like both of these ships for multiple reasons, and I will talk about it in a minute. But I'll tell you right now, I am strictly against super ships.
So you're saying you have some personal biases? Yep, okay.
Yes. This made me almost quit the game when they introduced super ships. And then I got a job in wargaming. For those who don't know, I don't work there anymore. But I didn't have any super ships joining there, and then they made me have some super ships. That was a rule. And then when I left, I was like, I'm getting my money back.
Did you sell them?
So I sold everything. There's no super ship, filthy super ships on my account.
You animal.
I don't want them in the game. I want to have fun in tier 9s as well.
They weren't hurting you. They were just sitting. You didn't have to play them. I love that you sold them. I love it.
Oh my God, I sold them the moment I know not in the company anymore.
You're like, that freaking Chrysanthos made me have super ships.
Actually, it
Doggone
was
it.
Lord of Droid. It was not Chrysanthus, but yeah, it was all in good faith. I love these guys, man.
Sure,
Like,
yeah.
My time in wargaming was great.
Good
There's no bad
dudes.
blood or anything.
Well, I mean, and it makes sense that they wanted you to have them, right? They wanted you to understand the player's experience, know the ships. I mean, I don't know really what they told you when they said you should have super ships, but they want you to know what people want to talk to you about. You know, that makes sense.
True. And I need to know, right? But
Yeah,
also
it's part of the
like
job.
bad, like kind of image if one of your like we don't have to, like, no one who works for wargaming has to like 700 ships, you know what I mean?
No.
But it does look bad if like someone is ignoring the entire type of or whatever, you know, like it's just not a good image, kind of.
It's
And
funny.
I understand that, so
Yeah.
I got a couple of super ships.
Yeah,
I played them.
It is funny because like when I'm watching I was watching the EU stream and we had Tucky and Blood Minister on the other day, and I'm watching, and I was watching, and they were playing some boats, and they had nothing but nice things to say about the boats, which I appreciated, I understand, and everything, but I'm like, come on, somebody at Wargaming doesn't like all of these boats, you know what I mean? And then you got guys like Gaishu, who's like, I never play below tier 10, right? So Gaishu only plays the top tier stuff.
That makes sense because
people have opinions, of course, but
playing like really end game with like tournaments
aggressive,
and whatnot,
competitive stuff. Yeah,
but
for sure.
I mean, look, if we're playing, and I'm on the stream while working wargaming, and Asasio shows up, the hate comes out of my ears. Like I just can't stand it. So you know, you don't have to like all the ships there. Definitely not. And I used to say it. So yeah.
Yeah,
I wonder if it shows up.
When Asashio will show up. Maybe it's in the list today. Maybe. I don't know. I do know, but I'm not going to tell you. Okay, so you have a general bias against super ships in general. And here's Kunming, a super ship. Is your vote already cast? Did you already tell us what it's going to be?
My vote is...
I'll tell you about what I think in a minute.
I'm totally trashing this, but I would like to hear your opinion on Kunming, and then I can give mine as well.
I'll say this. I don't have the same anti-super ship bias. I don't love super ships necessarily. I don't like the way that they're grinding credits away from folks and stuff like that. I think that's commonly held, and I think when we look at the player base and we log into a top tier match, a tier 9, 10, and 11 match, you don't see a lot of super ships out there. So I think the idea that super ships are not everybody's favorite is pretty common. Kunming is like almost a really good boat, but not quite. Because her concealment, I think, is 6.3 kilometers fully built. And she's supposed to be this torpedo monster. And it like almost works. It's like they said, what if we made the ship just bad enough that it wasn't quite fun to play? And that makes me sad because I like Chung Mu more than I like Yu Yang. But like Chung Mu is so good. Yu Yang I think is fine, but Chung Mu is amazing, right? I like Gajamata down at tier 7. I like a lot of boats in this Pan Asian destroyer line. But when you get to Kunming, you're like...
It's so interesting. Sorry, I only like the 9 and 10, just Changmu and Yu Yang. And Yu Yang I didn't enjoy until I got the leg mod for it. But I don't like anything before Changmu. And then if there's like tier 9 ranked and I want to play a destroyer, she's very often my choice. I just feel very, very comfortable with the radar and everything. It's just it's so good.
Yeah. I would say Chungmu is the best ship in that line, which I know we're not talking like Kunming's over here like, guys, you're supposed to talk about me, right? And we're over here talking about, her younger sister or whatever, but like, or older sister. So yeah, I mean, Kunming, I would be fine if this ship wasn't in the game. I want to trash Kunming, but it's not because she's a super ship. And that's too bad because I wanted to love it.
So would you agree that there's quite a few tech tree lines now where tier 10 is actually, arguably better than tier 11, everything taken into account, including, economy and everything.
I think
it's like better to play tier 10 than tier 11.
I think in general, that is a true statement. I think it's very limited exceptions where you want the super ship over the tier 10. And I think the economy is a big part of
monsters,
that. Like
right?
Conde, like get out of here. Conde's amazing. It's the best super ship.
Exactly.
Sorry, everybody.
Annapolis.
Right. Annapolis is pretty strong too. Yeah. There's going to be some folks who are like big battleship fans who are like, big fans of Hanover.
I enjoyed
stuff,
some Hanover games.
I actually don't. Hanover's the last super ship I don't have. I still got to get that one.
Just that funny button on secondaries is
hilarious,
very enjoyable, which is why I'm looking forward to the new line, because it's just fun to click, when you are in range and when the secondary ships are firing on both sides, and then you're like, let's take that to 11.
You're talking about the new Pan American battleships with the fighter.
Yeah, exactly. But Hanover kind of has that as well. Am I right?
Yeah, it does.
I think I am, right? Yeah. It's been a while,
Yamagiri, Wixatron mentions Yamagiri as well, another strong super ship, right?
True. But then you have like Clausewitz and Kunming, and I'm like, I'd rather play Hindenburg. Or
I mean, all things considered,
I don't know.
Hindenburg's really good, and it doesn't hurt the pocketbook. So why would you? There's just not enough of a reason to play Clausewitz. It's just not. It doesn't tempt me enough. Stuff like Edgar, and I feel like there's another one that's like Edgar. Edgar's good. I like Edgar a lot. Do I need to play Edgar? Maybe I like Edgar more than Minotaur, but I don't know that that's a universal
I'll tell you
truth.
what, I'm scared if Edgar is against me. So it's a good ship.
It's a good ship. So, but I think for Kunming,
if I see Kunming, I don't really care. Like, it's just a destroyer that I'm playing against. That's it.
It's a destroyer that I outspot. Like that's my 1B. If it had a 5.9 concealment or a 5.8, this boat would be an absolute terror, and it doesn't, and so it's not, right? Which is too bad. So yeah, I'm gonna trash.
So we
it,
agree again.
We do. I'm sorry.
Let's go.
All right.
This boat is trash.
I decided to go with the happy music for the trash as well, just because I thought that was funny. Ooh. I actually don't know your opinion on this boat. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh.
I like this boat.
Okay.
I like this boat. I want it to have more survivability, but I like the guns. I like that all the turrets turn 360 degrees. I like that the airstrikes are small. I like that she's got a speed boost, because we always want to have a speed boost. And I think it's got hydros as well, if I'm remembering. Chat, double check me, fact check me on that. Scotta, oh my gosh, I'm so used to talking to Scotta about this stuff. Cheg, which is your name. What is your experience with D7 Provincien? Is this a boat that you like or not? I don't know. I think you like it, but I don't know.
Give me a wild guess. Okay.
I think you like it.
So there is absolutely not a single bad thing I would say about this ship. I love it so much. From the beginning to the end. I love that I had to work for this, because it was a dockyard ship.
Yeah.
360 turrets are something that I mean, I'm a Colombo enjoyer, because 360 turrets,
Yeah, for sure.
It's a the rate of fire, the airstrike. I'll tell you another thing. The only thing I don't like about this ship is her dockyard camouflage. But this one that you can see right now is one of my favorites. It's like super modern. By the way, for those who don't know, this is a real ship, and she was in the kind of function until I think recently. And her sister is also in the game, also a real ship.
Yeah.
And
also amazing. Spoiler
incidentally
alert.
played today.
No, that never happened. I don't know what you're talking about.
True. There's just nothing I don't, and I actually like that she's squishy. Okay, because for some reason, I'm not that good with like I don't play Colbert, for example, or because I'm just scared to play, right? But on tiers 8 and lower, I like Dito. Like I like squishy ships because I'm so careful that I end up doing fine.
Yeah.
And it is so satisfying knowing that you like survived the whole game and did like 100k plus damage in a ship that can be killed in one shot. So you gotta be more strategic. You gotta make sure you're positioning properly and all this stuff. And it just gives back. This ship gives back so much when you play it well. Like a good game in 7 provinces will make you feel so good after that game. And I just love that. So this is a massive smash for me. I'll play this ship at any given time. I just absolutely love it.
Yeah, this one's fantastic.
It's also very strong.
Yeah, it's very capable, and it rewards you for good play. And that is a thing that you talked about Colbert just now, right? And said you're kind of a little scared to play Colbert and stuff. There's a lot of those light cruisers that really, really reward you for good play. I think if you went and looked at my numbers in D7P, they're not particularly amazing. Mine are.
It's not easy to pull off. So.
So like I'm not like great at it, but I really enjoy the play. And what you just said right there is the reason that this boat is so satisfying to play, which is that when you have that good game, it's the best game you're going to have all day, right? 100K in a boat that was like you were constantly in danger. Some players hate this experience, and that's why they play Kremlin or something, right? Something big and tanky and survivable. But it's so satisfying when it goes well. And then before I throw it to you real quick, Camo did come back and say it does not have hydro as a confirmation. Thanks, Camo, for looking that up. Check.
I think what you just said about like some people not liking that style of play, I think that comes with years of experience. I mean, some people are just crazy and they dive in and want to play, these like squishy
like the way I played today, driving in and just getting blasted.
Yeah. Well, or just doing amazing.
Oh, yeah.
But I think majority of players feel better playing safer ships. And it makes like there's so much to it. Like if you play a ship that will survive longer, that means you can get a couple of hits and get punished and learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
If you're playing Colbert and you get, or Bayard, for example, and you get hit one shot, right? Or 7, you are not going to learn anything, right? But if you already if you already as a player know all the rules of engagement of World of Warships, you usually in this ship, if you're a player or if I play or anyone experienced, you will anticipate the salvo that will kill you before he kills you, right? So you already know you made a mistake. You're like, oh crap, like here it is. So you don't have anything to learn in that way. Then I think you start enjoying this kind of gameplay because you feel your progress and getting better. But that's it. That's all.
For sure. Yeah, Dutch points out that the same fun can be had with ships like Nuremberg, right? There are amazing games where you're burning everything down, or even using the amazing AP DPM that Nuremberg has. And then there are games, of course, where you just get absolutely slapped. Lazo has that same energy. And then Merton says we need to get a controversial ship up here. I mean, I agree. So far, we're doing pretty well, but yeah, go ahead, Cheg.
So Nuremberg, for example, is a great example where you played this ship early as a new player very often.
Yes.
And you hate it because you get clapped all the time. But then you go back to Nuremberg 5 years later, and you're like, oh my God, this ship is good. The 100%. Guns are so good. You position yourself and everything. So yeah. I think experience makes a lot of sense when it comes to the glass cannon ships in general.
Yeah, totally agree. So again, this one is a smash.
She smashable.
Yep.
I wonder if that music's going to get annoying after a while. Maybe it's annoying already.
I mean, it's only a couple of times an hour. It's not that bad.
That's kind of that's what I figured. Okay. ZF6. This is another dockyard boat. I kind of let off with the last one. This is a strong boat. I don't know. I assume you're going to agree and say this is a great boat, but let's go to it. Jeg, why don't you walk us through ZF6 a little bit?
Okay, so ZF6 or ZF6 depending how you pronounce this thing.
Right.
Is a German destroyer, tier 9 dockyard. Extremely powerful ship in good hands. Some would say overpowered. And the problem with this being overpowered is that you can't get it anymore, right? So it's kind of difficult, and there's a lot of people who don't even know what they're playing against, especially in ranked. So she's very, very strong. And most of the players' favorite at tier 9. And I cannot perform in this ship at all. It's one of my worst destroyers. I like playing destroyers at that tier. There's a lot of them that I really like, and I cannot stand ZF6. I don't like playing it. I don't like playing against it. Okay?
Oh, no.
There we go.
What? So ZF6, choose your pronunciation.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It is a little tricky to learn. So it's no heal, right? So when you make mistakes, you pay for the mistakes. Shorter smokes, not short, but I think they're like, are they the German 70-second smokes? I can't remember. They're not like 40s like the Brits, but I don't think.
No, it's no.
I think they're a little bit
It's not great, but it's fine.
But it's long enough, right? Using the reload booster effectively takes practice. It's an easy mechanic. It makes sense. You know when it's good, but you don't always know, exactly when to use it to get the most out of it. That kind of a thing.
Because it doesn't feel as consistent to me as French reload, right? Like it's not when you catch someone in French DD reload booster, it's just like they're not gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
However, just knowing that this ship has reload booster when you're playing against it makes me really, really scared, which I really don't like that. I don't. I especially hate ships that I am scared of, but I can't perform in.
That's yes. That's a weird emotional response that everyone has.
There's a lot of these, but ZF is one of them for sure.
Yeah, that's pretty great. Yeah, man, I love this boat. Unabashedly, it is so much fun for me to play, and it is challenging. You are not wrong. It is a challenging boat to play, but it's so good, dude. It seems like maybe you want to trash this one for personal reasons, though.
I'm trashing this.
You're trashing. Yeah. I have to veto that.
Absolutely.
I have to spend.
I will let you veto it because I
have to veto it.
I'm
going to spend it right now
because I have huge respect for this ship.
Sure,
but out of fear, right? So I can't stand playing it, but it's a great ship.
Yeah,
so
and I super appreciate that you're trashing it, by the way, for the right reason. These are reasons that mean something to you as Cheg. They're not universal, and that's fine. That's what this show is about, right? Like, I think that's fabulous. Okay, so I spent a veto
if we were only going based on statistics and
then there's just a right answer.
We would agree on 99% of the ships. That makes no sense, right?
Yeah, that's silly. No, this is the way to do it. So I've consumed a veto. It sounds like you are not going to use your one and only Uno reverse. No. And we'll hit this.
I'm letting this one fly.
She's smashable.
It's good. It's a good trade-off. I would feel bad smashing it, but I'm okay with this ship going through. So
yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense with where we're at on this one. Okay. I don't know what's next, but let's find out. Submarine.
Oh, that was our first disagreement.
It was, and I am now lacking.
Okay.
I am lacking one of the things. What am I? Yes, and I see you wearing a submarine shirt. Is that a World of Warships submarine shirt or just a submarine shirt? It looks like a WoW shirt.
It actually says Moinau's Kiel. It's from the event in Kiel. With the very, very similar submarine as the one we are seeing there.
Yes. So U69 here. Well, actually, I made you talk about ZF6, so I'll talk about this one. So U69 is the first German submarine that you're going to get. And it is, of course, a submarine, which I think people are going to have opinions about. I think there's probably a large portion of the chat who's like, why we should smash this ship immediately just because it's a submarine. But I think it's worthy trash this ship.
Yeah.
But I think we should give it a chance here. So U69 is, I think, agreed to be the more powerful of the tier 6 submarines that are in the game. So I think it's a good submarine to learn on if you are submarine curious and you want to check it out and learn a little bit more about submarine gameplay, or even if you want to understand the enemies who you face in submarines. I again, from a power perspective, I think this is the most powerful of the tier 6 Techline submarines. We did just get a new premium at tier 6, which raises the question of, is it the strongest tier 6 submarine.
Not
in the
enough
game, or not.
data, like she just came out, so I don't know.
Yeah. What do you think about U69? I just gave
So
like
I
a
will say this
description. I
is-
didn't vote or anything yet. I'm just still thinking.
I will say this is in my so just to explain, I used to really enjoy submarines, and then they changed the way they play, and I'm enjoying them less than before. But I still like submarines being in the game. I think this gives a the entire kind of naval battle feel, and they're annoying. But that's what submarines are. They should be annoying. Like they're scary, annoying things
Yeah.
that lurk in the shadows or depths rather. So that's just my take generally on submarines. I will say this: I played all the submarines in the game and quite a bit. And I will say U69, in my personal opinion, is the most overpowered tech tree submarine. So we're not considering Gato, we're not considering U4501, but I would just say this is the most like a good submariner in World of Warships will create the most chaos with this thing out of all the tech tree submarines. She's just too strong for tier 6.
She's so broken. She's so broken.
She's
good.
broken. That's what it is. It's broke. It's a broken submarine.
This ship, I anticipate at some point we will have, like, there has to be a nerf to the submarine, right? Like, there just
There will
has
be
to
nerf
be.
for this 100%. Yeah.
And like, this is my best submarine. I've got like a 70% win rate over, I want to say it's like 15 or 20 battles or something. Of course, like, because you could just do horrible things to people. And because of that, all of my best experiences playing submarines are probably in this submarine. Maybe a couple of good games in Gato as well, right? I haven't played 4501 enough to know. I have it, but I haven't played it enough to know if it's like fun or not, like for me, or if it's for me, right? It might be good, it might be bad, but I think it's hard for me to not say that you have to smash the U69. Like it's such a potent thing. I could see somebody wanting to trash it because it's OP and not fair, right? Because it is.
Well, first of all, people
broke.
would trash it because it's submarine, right? Like that's
well,
the first
but
thing.
you and I won't. We're going to be a little more thoughtful than
Exactly,
than
yeah.
that. I mean,
And just to clarify, there are submarines that I would trash. Like just
sure.
it's not
I
like
have submarines that I would trash
automatically. For sure. Yeah, exactly. I agree. However, U69 is a smash for me because it's one of the first experiences you have with the submarine, and it's very enjoyable.
Yeah.
And that's not the case with submarines in general. I think the if you're a new player and you joined World of Warships because of submarines, because this is a very common thing, because you can't play this type of a ship in any other multiplayer game. It is very difficult to get into because you have to play a cruiser, then a couple of destroyers, and then everything you've learned up to this point. When you get into your first submarine, you can throw out a window, and you gotta start learning new stuff. And submarines, contrary to popular opinion, are very, very easy to kill. It's very difficult to learn how to properly play as a new player. I don't think that progression is good, made well by Wargaming, but there's a lot of limitations within the game because it's been around for such a long time. So that's just what it is. It is what it is. However, I think if you are starting to play submarines, as you said, this is definitely the one to go. This should be your first sub. And if you go back to this, just like what we talked about before, like once you play like 100, 200 games with submarines and you go back to U69, then you will appreciate it like 10 times more because you'll be like, oh my God, this is a monster.
Right.
And just so enjoyable to play it. Even in tier 8 games, this thing can work in tier 8 games, which is not very common. Like in ships in general, there's a lot of ships that if you're 2 tiers down, even if you're a good player, you can suffer. Like, you'll pull it off sometimes, but you can suffer. But I'll say U69 can do it. So for me, I gotta say this is a smash for me.
Yeah, I have to agree too, and I will probably choose to trash more submarines than you will, just because I don't have the love for them that you do. But in this case, like this, if I could only keep one submarine, and this is including the Gato that's in my port, right, that I've played a number of times, I would take this one because this boat's just fun. It just is, and I think it has to be a smash. So we're going to smash this submarine. Chat, don't hate us too much.
She smashable.
One sub out of many.
Yes, we will come across others, I'm sure, in the future. Camo, Vito. All right, let's go to our next boat here. Tier 5 Italian cruiser Genova. Cheg, I think I talked about U69 first. You want to take this one? You're like, I am at a loss for words.
Wait, Genova, if memory was the, how do you say that?
If memory serves
me well.
Yeah.
Was the first ship that you would get in Puerto Rico dockyard. Is that correct?
There were some Italian boats. I think that was the Zeven, though, wasn't it? That was the one that has hydro and no torpedoes in the dockyard. This one is, yeah, this one's the tier 5. Let me find Italian cruisers. Chat, can you help me? Gorizia, yeah. Was Genova in the dockyard as well, Scotta? Oh, okay. I missed that piece.
Recently, it was being given by Wargaming in some, I don't remember what it was, but like last year or something. So a lot of people got her.
Yeah.
Look, this ship again. I like Italian ships. I really enjoy playing them. Venezia is one of my most played ships. There's some lower tiers I really like, especially premium ones.
Yeah.
If I'm there's a gimmick to this ship, and chat, please correct me if I'm wrong. It has barely any cooldown on torpedoes. If I remember correctly. Like you can spam. There's only like 2 or 3 torpedoes that come out of this.
So it's got,
but like the reload is insane.
8-kilometer torpedoes, and it looks like the reload. Yeah, it puts out 10.2 torpedoes a minute, whereas Montecuccoli puts out 4.4 torpedoes a minute, which is pretty nuts. I can't find the reload. I don't know why.
But Monte has longer range, if I remember correctly. Maybe not.
Montecuccoli does have
10,
10 kilometers on Montecuccoli, 8 kilometers on Genova.
Yeah. Okay. However, the guns feel very impotent on this ship.
Yeah.
Unless you're shooting destroyers. But in the range, even if you had bigger range, like these shells are not that good long range. And as far as I remember from like personal gameplay, this is not a ship that I'm gonna happily get into. And you can get a good game with it because Italians, you can always get a lucky torpedo hit and whatnot, and you'll be like, oh my god, that that slowpoke torpedo actually killed some, because the damage is not bad on these.
Yeah.
It's a paper ship with very, very small caliber guns with. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of Genova.
I'll tell you what did it for what made me know how you were gonna vote was when I brought it up. You said, "No, which boat is this again?" Right? This was the first conversation we had.
Yeah.
Which is, which boat is even Genova? And then you got your memory jogged and you had some things to share, which I appreciated, of course. I didn't know about the torpedo reload. I didn't realize it's 47 seconds, and you have 4 dual launchers, right? So you can launch 2 torpedoes.
Yeah, I remember like 2 torpedoes. Yeah. The thing is, you can. Yeah, I mean, you send torpedoes on a cruiser and you fire once or twice, and you're like, oh my god, I have torpedoes again.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool.
But they're 8-kilometer torpedoes, right?
Add to it. Yeah.
And for me, like, Genova is exactly what we just kind of observed. It's a very forgettable ship, and why would I choose this? There's the British Tier 5 Exeter, right? Which has like 203s and a heel and stuff like that. It's a similar kind of Tier 5 premium that, if you get your hands on one of those, I'd play Exeter over this. And even Exeter isn't a boat I'm like really chomping at the bit to play, but I like Exeter well enough, right? Whereas Genova is like, it's like that bad version of Exeter, right? Like it's just not a boat that I will ever reach for in my toolbox. So I think we got to trash this one. At least I want to trash it. It sounds like you're on board.
I am. Yeah, like he can have a good game in this ship.
Yeah,
But
Mountain just said he got
if
8
I
kills
end
or
up
whatever. Yeah.
like if someone, or you have your randomatic, or I used to have like pick a ship,
Yeah.
for channel points. If someone picks this, I'm gonna roll my eyes and be like, all right. I mean, I'll play anything. Hey, I'll play anything.
Hey, I'm here to entertain.
But I'm not gonna be very excited about it.
Yeah, and it's funny because I think you like you said, you can have a great game in any ship. And Genova at tier 5, you can have fun in pretty much any ship at tier 5. But like just the idea of like Genova having a unique identity that makes me want to play that boat again. I'm not logged into my computer going, man, I can't wait to log in and play Genova. It just doesn't happen. So I think in that case, trash.
This boat is trash.
Now I feel like we've hurt Genova's feelings.
Interesting ships, man.
Did we hurt Genova's feelings? I feel
choices. You know what?
I'm like, is somebody a Genova main out there who's gonna be like, oh, let me tell you what I think about the Italian sausage Genova. Okay, let's go to the next slide.
If someone's a Genova main, we can just ban them in the channel. Oh wait, this is on my channel. I'm kidding.
We'll ban them from your channel. Kleber CLR. Ooh, fancy. I honestly don't know what I think about this boat. I'll tell you what I
probably
go ahead.
Only 2 people who are watching this and have the ship actually.
Well, I think more people got it now with the second CLR event, right? There was a CLR coupon, and I don't think it's widely distributed. You still had to pay, and it still wasn't cheap, even with the coupons and everything.
No.
So I don't think there's a lot of folks in the world who have Kleber CLR, but with the most recent CLR event where they released Zhao CLR, I think you've got more Kleber CLRs out there than ever before.
Do you see them in game though?
No. I see mine in game when I play it, which is rare. So
I mean, obviously, if you want to play Kleber, sorry, that was American pronunciation. It's because I'm drinking Dr. Pepper now. I'm saying Kleber.
Don't say Kleber. Even I know that Kleber is wrong. I won't be right, but I'll be closer than Kleber.
The American community managers like boxing.
Gaishu and boxing, they gotta stop that. Yeah. That is so bad.
True. I tried, man.
Boys, I love you, but please, Kleber. You can at least do that much. Kleber. I don't know. You were saying.
Yeah, the last one. That was
you had to spit it out a little bit.
So if you have Kleb and you have CLR Kleb, like there's no reason for you not to play the premium version because credits and Commander, right? So
it's a 10, so you don't get beneficial economics, I don't think.
Commander though. You
don't
have to.
Good call.
And then the other thing is you can't. Kleber has a very specific leg mod or legendary mod for where it really changes the style of play. So having both versions allows you to have legendary mod and non-legendary mod Kleber. If you play, ranked or clan battles and you sometimes play this ship, it's really good to have both versions.
Yeah.
So there's a use for this ship in my eyes.
To be fair, that
I'm
unique.
not mad that it exists.
Yes, but that like unique upgrade is sort of like meme town ridiculous though. It's not like you need that to be a fully self-actualized Kleber player.
So for those who don't know, because I don't know how popular this is, but
no, you should share.
Kleb is tier 10 French tech tree ship, and she's an exceptional gunboat.
She's so good.
Brawler, insane. It's really good. Like great guns, good speed, French saturation. So if you get hit on the same side, you get like less and less damage, like drastically. So she's really, really good. You can also farm with this ship and whatnot. Like late game, if you survive your early, which you should, knife fighting, then you can get behind an island and just like spam people and set a lot of fires and whatnot. So it's a really good ship.
Yes, Kleber is
the legendary mod does. It ruins everything that I've just said. Like it just makes your guns worse. However, what it does, it allows you to become a torpedo boat, right? So, which people don't expect. I think the element of surprise of legendary mod Kleber is like the thing, in my opinion, because you always expect one thing and then it's the other one. it's like playing Paolo Emilio kind of, like you feel like doing something funky. And if you
Yeah.
have both of these ships, then you can have this on demand without, stressing about it and whatnot, right?
For
But
sure.
that's more,
For
it's
sure.
very gimmicky thing.
No, I agree with what you're saying, but I felt like we needed to talk a little bit about leg mod Kleb and how it's kind of ridiculous. Mountain just chimed in and said, for competitive, a leg mod Kleb is really useful. I have bumped into leg mod Klebs in clan battles before. It's a thing. Most Klebers you bump into will not be leg mod Kleber, partly because it's expensive and it makes your Kleb weird and you have to change everything about it, right? But what you're talking about, Cheg, is the idea that somebody can get Kleber CLR. That can be leg mod, Kleber leg mod, and then you can have regular Kleber as well. And then you kind of have both flavors. Because what you just pointed out was, there's not very many UUs, unique upgrades or legendary mods that make a ship an entirely new ship. And this is one of them, right? Kremlin leg mod just makes Kremlin more Kremlin, right? That kind of thing. But this is, now you have two ships. And with this ship, you can do both. Yeah. Merton says, if I want to feel funky, I play Kava. Yeah, go ahead.
My other thing here is Marceau exists. If I want...
True. Coal ship Marceau, tier 10 French destroyer.
Yeah. So if I want a gunboat, tier 10...
As long as you don't mind shooting your shells like this in
over the moon,
Marceau.
Right?
Or Marceau. Yeah, they're so Kleb has flat firing. For anybody who's not familiar with these ships, Kleb has very flat firing arcs, high velocity shells. Marceau has long arcing shells. Both ships are great gunboats. Marceau has the DPM, but the harder to hit. Kleber is a little bit less DPM, but still is a lot easier to hit and has a reload booster, all that kind of stuff. So, sorry, I just derailed your train of thought. I apologize.
I'll let you go first with the decision this time.
I know. I don't know what to do because
you have no clue what I'm gonna say.
I have no clue. I have no clue.
No clue. Yeah.
I think, what I want is a middle choice, which is it's fine, but that's not what this show's about. This show's about smashing and trashing. I think I'm gonna say it's hang on. We have to talk about one more thing. I want to say it's a smash, but this boat was expensive, and it was only expensive. And there was no way for people to get it for anything that's really a reasonable price for what is a tech tree show or tech tree ship. And so all of the things that we talked about with the boat up until this point are, is it fun to play? Can you do cool things with the leg mod? Hey, it's a premium. You can move captains around. All that stuff is what everybody says about CLR ships. This is a tier 10 CLR ship, and it was cash money collections. Wargaming was just like, hey, remember that money you owe me, right? They came around and said, homie, give me the cash. And that part is the biggest negative. If I'm looking for a negative, and boys and girls, we're trying to understand them all. That's the problem with Kleber CLR is it was turbo expensive. This second time they did the CLR event, and you could use a coupon or something, it made it a little bit cheaper, but as you pointed out earlier, still it's cash money. It's real. I want to tentatively say, if I ignore the financials, the ship's probably barely kind of like a smash. But if I bring the financials in, I'm going to say still I want to smash this ship, but I don't know, man. It's so borderline. I gotta have your opinion now. I'm going to say smash. Okay. You go.
So for me, I have this ship and you have it as well.
I do.
And both of us got it for free.
We did.
I would never spend money on this ship. And I would say right now, I would not tell anyone to spend money on this ship. Unless they just, they just want all the ships in the game, or they just, they don't care about money or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But realistically, I can think of so many better ways of spending money in World of Warships itself, than buying CLR Kleber. And because of that, this is an easy trash for me. That's just what it is. There's another thing that I really hate about CLR ships.
Yes.
And while I was in Wargaming, I was trying to bring this up. I mean, I brought it up, but I couldn't, win this fight.
Sure. I
love camouflages. And the fact that you cannot use your fancy camos, there's a couple of ships, Zao, Kleber, North Carolina, and Rune in this category so far. I have Zaya for Zao. I have the French fancy blue camo for Kleber. I have King Kong and 10 other combos for Carolina, and I paid for some of these, and I can't use them on this ship, and it pisses me off so much.
Yeah,
it's the same model. Let me use my combo on it. I paid $8,000 for it or more.
I thought you were gonna say $8,000. I paid $8,000 for this piece of crap.
Hell yeah.
Dude, no, this is. I'm glad you're talking about this. This is important too. This is good.
I just can't.
You know what, dude? You got me. I agree. This ship. It's so weird to say this about Kleber because I love Kleber, but Kleber CLR, this ship is trash.
This boat is trash.
Yeah. 100%. And that's it. Again, it's such a weird thing because if you just think about the mechanicals, it's a fine boat. But and Scott made the comment earlier, and we were already kind of talking about it, but Scott was like, hang on, man, the way to get the acquisition method of the ship, that's part of it. And he's totally right. It is. So anyway.
I think neither of us would even have this ship if we didn't get it.
There's literally no way I would buy this ship.
Yeah,
There's literally no way. I might have cracked for Zhao CLR because I'm a big Zhao fanboy, like an unreasonable amount. But
it's also very specific.
Yes.
Right. Like
that's a different conversation.
Ship, you know?
It's like top 10 for some reason, even though I'm a total dork about it. All right, let's get out of here. We'll go into our next conversation. Novosibirsk. This is a super boat, a super ship. It is a super Petropavlovsk. Tier 11 at the top of that line. We already know what Cheg thinks about super ships. That's come up today. Novosibirsk. I have a negative thought I want to start off about this. First of all, I'll say I played this boat. I've played it in clan battles and things like that. It's fine. I like the way the guns handle and behave and everything. The only reason I played it in clan battles, if I recall correctly, was super ships were available and Petro was banned, right? I would have just probably played Petro, which would have been fine. But I played Novosibirsk for, I think, a season, half of a season or something like that. And that was kind of my experience. This is a boat I don't need to exist. I will only play it when clan battles kind of demands that we need a super ship or Petro's banned or something. Like there will be constraints upon my ship selection where I will choose Novosibirsk. When I play it, I'm not totally sad about playing it, but I wouldn't like choose to play it. So that's like kind of my negative piece where I come in and start there. I don't know. In terms of playing the ship, it feels like a Russian cruiser, and that generally feels fine, right? That's a good thing. But I don't think I have anything exceptional to say about Novosibirsk is the best ship at this, and you'll never get this experience anywhere else because of blah, 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 because none of that is really true. I don't think you have a unique experience in Novosibirsk. Cheg, why don't you let us know what you think about Novosibirsk, super ship of the Soviet Navy?
So, it's strong. It's a strong ship.
Sure.
But when it comes to guns itself, when you're talking about, like you just said, how they feel good and all that. Petro recently got the legendary mod as well. And I happen to have it. And I just think both Moskva guns and Petro guns feel better than this ship's guns. And the reason I know how this feels, I did catch some of testing of this ship. So I played most of the super ships because I tested them, right? But But I don't I don't have them, right? And there's some subtle changes.
That was because you sold them as soon as you didn't have to have them anymore. I just want to go back and hit that point again.
Also Fusi mentions this. I said already, like the fact I love 360 guns, and this is one of my favorite things on Petro. And the fact that you don't have this on Petro is, on Novosibirsk is just a big negative for me. And I'll tell you one more thing. Before Petro got slightly nerfed, which some people say it's not that big of a nerf, but man, when I played at Montana, you get citadels on Petro now so much easier. So for those who don't know, Petro was lifted above the water a little bit, but just enough to be able to clap those citadels so much easier. And if that was not the case, I would argue it's just a better ship than Novosibirsk. Now this is
especially
now
like
you can die
Petro
much easier. Yeah, exactly. But I think I just don't. I think I just. There's no way. Even if I did not have my hatred for super ships, I just don't see myself playing this over Petra. It's just the convenience of 360 guns, and that leg mod is pretty good.
I would like to point out that 360 guns on Petro is total BS Russian bias move, by the way. That's so dumb. But I'm glad they're there. I love
the
them.
whole ship was
Yeah.
It was the most overpowered tier 10 cruise. Like I remember some content creators proving the theory of you can just press W and and win the game with it back in the days.
Yeah.
Now we have much more ships and much more ways of dealing with this stuff, but like in general. But I mean, obviously it's a trash for me. You don't even have to wait for that. But I would just rather play Petra. I mean, I don't know. I would just rather play Petra. That's all. I would just enjoy it more.
I'll trash the ship as well. I'm not going to trash it quite as easily as you, but I will trash it. It's not necessary, and the only time I'll play it is, like I said, when there are restrictions in clan battles that tell me I need to do this ship instead of Petro, like for the same reasons you're describing. So I'll agree with you.
I don't have this obligation to my clan. They know I don't play super ships, and that's it.
Yes, and I'm sure your clan leader appreciates your lack of flexibility.
Yep.
All right, let's trash this one. We'll move on.
This boat is trash.
All right, let's see what the random ship selection. Now, we won't know when we're done until we come around and we see a boat that we've already seen. I think we're probably about an hour in right now, but I think we can keep plugging away and just see what comes up next.
Yep.
Ooh, Jinan.
Ooh.
Jinan.
Okay.
This one could be interesting. I'll have you start us off with Jinan. Fusi's already smashing.
Jinan, tier 10 Pan Asian cruiser, an absolute spammer of IFHE shells, and many torpedoes and smoke. So basically just oversized Atlanta. Some people can play this ship, have fun, and get insane numbers, especially if you get lucky. You can always get lucky with this ship and hit a couple of torpedoes. And have like 150k plus game.
Yeah.
I find it very difficult to pull off though. It's one of those very, very difficult ships to play for me. It's a funny story. You know these random bundles that we have? So this line came out before I worked for VG. And I was scared shitless of, grinding through this tech tree. And then the random bundles, I think this was the first tech tree line that started with this. Like in early access, you could get tier 9 in a random bundle, or second or something like that. And it was my first ship in the bundle. I was like, oh, okay, I only need to grind 2 of these now.
Yeah, because you were able to kind of like jump to the end and or towards the end anyway. Yeah.
I'll tell you one thing. The guns look like little cats with like ears and everything.
They are adorable.
This ship looks great with like what is that? The camouflage with little bunnies and whatnot, and it looks great. It looks cute.
Yeah, the dumpling camo, is that the one?
Dumpling one,
yeah. It's pretty adorable. I'll give you that.
Yeah, it's a cute little cruiser.
Jinan's got good. She's really good. Somebody said it already. They beat me to it, but it's really good at like area denial. You said earlier, hey, you might get lucky, you might land a couple of torpedoes, might get a 150k game. When that happens, it's because you are holding an area and the enemy team wants it so bad they're willing to drive at you. If you are chasing enemies in Jinan, it's a rough day, right? It's not going to work. But when
the moment someone turns away from you, you got to give up. Like that's it.
Let them go.
It's the end.
Let them go. You're going to fight somebody else. You're going to fight somebody who's coming at you, right? And so, yeah, for sure, there are conditions in which Jinan, I think, is really powerful. Betaflex just said, yeah, she's got pretty good ballistics and everything. And I was like, pretty good ballistics in chat, right? We were just having a little back and forth. And she did get a buff recently that improved her ballistics. And that's because before that buff, they were really pretty bad. She's got all the DPM in the world, but she was kind of hard to hit stuff with because of the ballistics. I mean, you get hits, but you can get more hits today than you could before.
Well, it's also one of those ships you're gonna have like 300 hits and like 45,000 damage. You know? Although IFHE helps with this a lot, but like in general, a lot of shadows. But she's also very dependent on another ship to help her. Like this ship is very difficult to play properly solo. You know, you need a good destroyer or maybe a submarine or a carrier to help you with spotting and whatnot. Because you gotta be like you have smoke, but once you're smoked, you don't have any way of like seeing anything outside of the smoke because you don't have radar, right? And you gotta be very careful not to be clapped.
I was gonna say
positioning is so crucial, as you said. Like you gotta be in the right spot at the right time to do something.
And to be in that place where they want to push into you, you want to be close, but being close is so dangerous. We talked about this with D7P earlier, right? It's so satisfying when you're in a light, squishable, blappable, destroyable, detonatable cruiser and amazing things happen. And it's so, and this ship, it's kind of unsatisfying when that, or any of those ships, I suppose, it's unsatisfying when that doesn't work out. Jinan has no sensors as well. She's got a lot of strengths. I'm talking about her negatives right now, but she's got a lot of strengths. She's got torpedoes that are incredible, lots of torpedoes, lots of torpedo DPM. She's got, you know, guns with tons of DPM. The shells are not Soviet flat. I need to maybe go play some more games in it after the buff. I've only played it, I think, once since it was buffed and see what the new ballistics are like. There are a lot of ships like Jinan at tier 9, tier 10. You know, there's Austin. You've got Hector, which is kind of similar. You've got, of course, Jinan itself. I'm sure there's like 4 more that I'm not thinking of. That are these light, you know, these ultralights, Smolensk, Dalian, right? Lots of choices for boats that are similar in play style that are at this tier. Some of those boats have sensors, which is very, very valuable because, like you said, with Jinan, you're dependent on people to do spotting for you while you're in your smoke. Without that spotting, you'll be in kind of a tough spot. Jinan's a boat.
Deep water torpedoes, so you can't really protect yourself from a gunboat, you know, destroyer that is pushing into your smoke. If you see, like, if Elbing is there or a Druid or something like that, you're just gonna get deleted in seconds. It's just, that's also like you smoke and then you're kind of sitting there you can't get out because you're gonna get spotted and killed. You know, if you stay in there, you're gonna. I don't know. She's really rough to play. You gotta be.
There's a skill. Really there's a skill floor, right? That's what you were just getting towards, right? And so is Jinan for everybody? No. Does that mean she's a smash or a trash? Necessarily, not necessarily. I have a question for you. Do you remember when Kitakami came out at the end of last year? And everybody, like, the only thing you would see on Reddit was like 5,000 posts that say, just play Jinan. Do you remember this? Everybody suddenly came out of the woodwork and said, just play Jinan. Nobody needs Kitakami, just play Jinan. What do you think about those comparison? The comparison of Jinan to Kitakami? Or Kitakami. Yeah, I had it right the first time.
I do not agree with this. I never did, to be honest. And I'm not a big fan of Jinan, okay? Like
I think chat knows that neither one of us are big Jinan enjoyers at this point.
But I'm also not a fan of Kitakami at all. Yeah. But for different reasons. I do think if I had to choose between these two ships, I'd choose Kitakami. She's just stealthier, and Kitakami has element of surprise more than Jinan does. Because even if you're in smoke and pumping, the people know where you are. You will get killed in Jinan by someone shooting blind fire into your smoke.
This will happen.
Because you have so many guns, it's so easy to see where the middle is. And
that's the thing people don't think about, but yeah, that's a good point.
So I don't know. For me, Jinan is a trap. I will die in it. You know, 9 out of 10 times when I don't expect to die, which, you know, and then I'll be like, but I feel like I've hit so many shots, and then I look at the at the result, and I'm like, what? I did only 30,000 damage? No. So if I hit the torpedo, then everything's different, right? Or two. But if
torpedoes
that
are the
doesn't
game,
happen,
right?
then yeah, exactly. So
And as
yeah,
somebody who's kind of like a rube, who's somebody like me who's like not that great at Jinan, a lot of the maybe there's there's probably some understanding of like maybe you gotta lean on the torps more, Clyde, and use those guns a little bit less when you know they're gonna get you killed, right? There's a skill there. Like we said, there's a skill floor, I think, to kind of getting around
then
and
why
using
not
this
play
boat well.
torpedo, destroyer? Why not play Shima then? Or
You don't have to
like-
convince me to play a destroyer over the Jinan. Like I'll do it all
Hey.
day long. I mean, you and I think are. So I think what we're moving towards you and I wanting to trash this ship, but I think that we're gonna make some enemies in the chat. Chat, I want to know what you think.
Oh, I already have enemies.
Yeah. Oh,
because
that's
of this
okay.
ship.
It's okay.
Fusi in chat, like he's a proof.
Fusi
that
was
he
like
can play
instant.
this ship
Yeah.
very well, consistently as well. So but what can I do? Like I just don't feel good playing it. If I have to play it, I'm regrinding this line now, and I'm gonna use all the free XP in the world that I can to just make it at least painful as I can. So for me, this is trash.
Yeah, I'm gonna trash it too, but chat, I imagine we're gonna hear about it. So Camo's already come through and said smash. We know that Fusi said the same. I'm sure there are others who are like these rubes, and that's good. We want you guys to like the ships, but unfortunately, this is one at least Cheg and I are gonna trash.
This boat is trash.
Bye, Jinan. Don't come
Bye,
back.
Jinan. We'll miss you, kind of. I'm gonna have to go. I
I'm
will
not
go
gonna miss
play.
her.
I'm gonna go play some Jinan, especially after the gun buff. I think, like I said, I've only had one battle. We'll get out there and do it. Betaflex says smash. I like how she handles. People are
that's
vetoing
not a
us.
good wishes. That's good. Yeah,
Good,
yeah.
good. I'm glad. Let us know, guys. Let us know. It's all good. All right.
Nice.
Oh no, Aquila.
Ooh.
Do you play this boat? Have you played this one? I've played it a couple of times,
Absolutely.
and I'm just going to tell you right now, I hate this boat. I can't make it work. It's better than me, so I can't make it work. I have to smash Aquila or trash Aquila. It makes me very sad because I can't keep the damn airplanes alive. They hit so hard, but I can't get them close to the enemies because I'm bad. I'm so bad, Cheg. There, I've just said my piece real fast.
There's so many reasons to trash this ship. It's
Okay.
rare, hard to get. Not many people play in. High skill floor.
Yes. Very higher than me for sure. I'm not great
I'm
at carriers anyway.
vetoing your trash though. I'll tell you right
Whoa,
now.
okay.
Because first of all, real ship.
That part's
beautiful
legit.
Ship.
She is pretty.
You can, I don't know exactly, but if you hit a cruiser on a side, you get like 25 citadels in one salvo.
You do.
And it just feels so good.
The first time I played Aquila, I went out there and found, I think it was either a Baltimore or something, and just the very first attack run I had in Aquila was just decimation. And then every attack run after that, I could not get anything done. It was just, I am not good enough to play Aquila.
I am horrible. CV. I'm one of the worst CV players in the world.
That makes two of us.
Again, I like having CVs in the game because I feel like, and they're annoying me.
Yes.
But I feel like that's part of the game, and I like that. I can't play them. I wish I could play CVs because it feels like it's so chill. Just flying around and then you ruin someone's day. Not bad, But I can't. However, I've had a couple of games with the Aquila where I managed to do good, and oh my god, it's so satisfying. It's insanely satisfying. So I've tasted it.
Yeah, it's
and
there.
just
It's
like you,
available.
it's very difficult for me to replicate that. I just can't.
Yeah.
Because I'm bad. But if you do it correctly,
We're so humble.
Holy crap, it's so good.
Yeah.
And then it's the only Italian carrier in game.
I know. That is special.
Again, I'm saying it's a real ship, looks really good. I'm vetoing this. I'll
take your veto.
believe
That's fair.
my veto goes on a CV. Like, this is insane. If someone asked me, I would be like, no freaking way.
Yeah.
But then I saw this ship and I'm like, no, I cannot trash this ship. I just can't.
I could have trashed it too emotionally, but I'm not sorry that I did it. I mean, all of the things you said are true in terms of the ship being a real historical ship. She's rare. She's the only Italian carrier. She's pretty. She's really, really strong in the right hands. But dude, if this boat were suddenly deleted from World of Warships and like it was like a Thanos snap and nobody ever knew it existed, I'd be fine.
You wouldn't care?
I would be totally fine. But that is not the global experience, and that's fair.
I don't think there's much global experience in general. Like, how many people
just because it's
rare?
This
has to be one of the least played ships in the game. One of, you know.
It could be, yeah. I mean, usually Scott is my "let me look this up, Clyde, before you make any wild claims" guy, which I appreciate. But yeah, I imagine
I'm happy to make a wild claim.
Well, and I don't think this one's that wild. Whether or not it's like number one on the list is maybe a different question. But I think the distribution for this ship was like cash money. Like it's a tier 8 premium,
exactly.
And so like that immediately makes it less popular than like Scharnhorst 43 that everybody ground for free and wouldn't stop playing for 8 months straight. Love Scharnhorst 43. She's a good boat. But like, okay, guys, maybe try to play something
people
else.
Would go out of their way to spend money, all right? So that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like if you, like there's probably more Smolensks than this. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, for sure.
People go out of their way to buy that ship, even now when it happens limited time, whatever, you know. Not Aquila. It's just not happening, you know.
And Aquila is gonna have. I also
love the name as well.
Oh, the name's rad. Yeah. Aquila. But for sure, all of that stuff is definitely reasons why I think the ship is rare. For sure. Until everyone talks about Colossus.
Wow,
yeah.
Lost my veto on a CV. Thank you, Clyde.
You're welcome.
Jesus.
Oh, and I'm gonna let you use it too. This ship is smashed. I guess you just smashed this ship. You did. Let's go.
She's smashable.
Alrighty. Let us continue on. We are going to go to our next boat. Gneisenau. Germans, how do you pronounce this boat? People say Gneisenau. People say Gneisenau.
Yeah.
Gneisenau?
Yeah. The G is probably like not very loudly pronounced. Just a little bit.
Yeah. That's Germans, if you're watching this on YouTube, link me to a video of you saying the word that is this ship's name. It'll be great. That would be fun. Interaction. Here it is. This is with the Polar Fancy Boy camo. This is a tier 7 tech tree battleship. I railed and ranted about Aquila right off the gate. So let me throw this one to you, Cheg. You want to walk us through this battleship?
Oh, you want me to? Yeah.
I mean, I could do it, but
Gneisenau, I'm very biased for this ship. So I feel like. So I do like playing German battleships, and I do like the original German tech tree. So not the Schlieffen one, but rather what is now Preußen, but used to be Grosse Kurfürst. And so there's this ship, and then there's Scharnhorst, right, which is a premium, same tier, but very different gameplay style, kind of. Unless like you can play them both with secondaries if you want to, but your main damage output will definitely be your guns. So Gneisenau has bigger caliber, less barrels, and for tier 7, it has really good hull, very tanky, very satisfying. This ship excels so much. I like playing ranked, and I think this is, in my opinion, there's a lot of interesting picks in tier 7 for ranked, but in my opinion, this is actually the best tier 7 ranked battleship to pick. Very, very survivable. And then you have torpedoes, you have strong guns for that tier. Strong enough. Like you can delete things. You can brawl a little bit. She's fairly fast. The only problem is now Scharnhorst 43 exists, which is a little bit, I think, a little bit too strong. But I would still pick Gneisenau over it. But I really love it. For me, this is the smash ship easily. I love it.
Gneisenau is fine.
Nice. So different.
It's
a ship.
You said some nice things about the ship, and you said accurate things, right? She's got a good armor scheme. I think this is maybe the second German battleship that has like a proper like turtleback and stuff like that. I think maybe Bayern has one too. Gneisenau's got.
That is good though.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, more.
Gneisenau is very low in the water and has turtleback, and
that's a good combo.
To know exactly where to aim to deal with this thing.
Yeah, she's got 3 80s and 6 of them, so she's a little bit low on barrels. But she does have 3 80s, which are bigger than a lot of the battleships that you'll see at tier, or at least some of the battleships you'll see at tier.
It's not Japanese, but they still pack a punch.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And you talked about the secondary play. The torpedoes are good. No acoustics yet on Gneisenau. That comes up a little bit later. So you won't have the hydros. For me, like if I'm playing tier 7 ranked in a German battleship, I gotta go with Prinz Heinrich. And this isn't about like is Gneisenau better or worse than Prinz Heinrich, but it is, like what do we think of Gneisenau? And so like
it's very different. It's very different. Yeah.
It's tankier, right? Whereas Heinrich's less tanky for sure. I don't dislike Gneisenau, but I wouldn't like pick it first. I think it is a solid boat, and maybe this is an experience like what we were talking about earlier with Nuremberg, right? Where like Nuremberg, when I played through it, hated it, thought it was terrible, worst boat in the game. I can't believe people play this boat. What gives? And then you go back later with some experience and some knowledge. The last time I played Gneisenau in any sort of earnest was when I was leveling it when it was brand new, right? And I've never gone back to play it again.
Interesting. With Nuremberg, there's one big difference because Nuremberg can get deleted in one salvo. Gneisenau allows you to survive mistakes.
She does, absolutely.
Yeah, but maybe more than most of tier 7 battleships. Like most of tier 7 battleships, still most of them, if you're broadside, you're gonna suffer. Gneisenau, what it gives you, like it allows you to learn, but once like people underestimate how good these ships are for kiting, and one of the reasons is that turtleback will let you to do a quote unquote gamer turn.
Which I love to do. Chat can attest.
Yeah. So what this means for those who don't know is you will position. So you will push in and you start turning open water where someone can punish you and hit your citadel because you're full broadside to half of the enemy team. This ship can kind of pull it off. Like you wait for one salvo, then you start turning. She's fast enough. And you might get hit a couple of times, but your turtleback might protect you enough that you might not even. Well, it's kind of bad for learning, but
it doesn't actually. You never actually learn anything.
Yeah, but
gonna get away with a bunch of bullshit.
And then people get like there's a mental phase to this where someone shoots you when you're broadside, does not do any damage, gets really pissed, starts chasing you in this thing.
Yeah.
If you're playing an Gneisenau and everything up to GK, when people start chasing you in these things, you are on the horse. Like this is where you want to be. You go to like half speed, keep them in your secondaries. The main guns, like over the shoulder angles are not bad at all. And you're bouncing mostly everything. I mean,
they better be over the shoulder good because you only have 6 guns. Like this boat,
that's true.
And I did a little fact checking just now. This is the lowest AP DPM of all tier 7 battleships, and it comes down to them having very few guns. Now, to be fair, third worst is Prinz Heinrich, the boat I said positive things about earlier. So DPM is not the only thing that matters, and I recognize that for sure.
I was about to say DPM for sure because it's damage per minute. Yeah. However, you will live more minutes than
there you go. It does, and that is part of why I think it's okay, right? Because you're going to live, let's say, 3-4 more minutes longer than other ships with the armor. Yeah. Do I have a specific hatred for this boat? Absolutely not. I just don't have a lot of like positive core memories in it, which is my only thing about this. I think what I'm going to do for the interest of the game is I am going to trash the Gneisenau just to be a total jerk.
Oh my God, he's just taking my veto away.
But I know that I just made 4,000 enemies in the chat and on the internet, and people are going to come for me. But please recognize that I'm going to say right now, I'm trashing the Gneisenau. However, I promise you that I will play 5 games in Gneisenau, and then we'll talk about this again next time.
Okay.
Sometime. I'll play it again.
I will tell you, there's a thing, if you're going to do it, the experience in random battles can be really tough for German mainline tech tree battleships. But if you do ranked, man, oh my God, they shine so much more. Yeah,
maybe that's what I'll do then. I'll grab some. I'm already getting feedback in the chat. Thank you, chat. Remember, we're going to come out with a smash. The result is smash, because I'm not going to double veto you. I'm not going to like Uno reverse this, because I do not feel that strongly. So here we go. Chat, let it be known. I appreciate you, and I'm trying to become a better person, and it's going to be with your help that we move forward. But for now, this boat is a smash.
She smashable.
Chat, he missed his chance to hurt my feelings with Uno reverse.
I would never. Chad. Until later. Until someday when I do. The boat's a smash. Gneisenau has passed, or Gneisenau has passed the test. Venezia. Steelboat. Did you talk about the last one? I can talk about Venezia. Venezia is an Italian top tier heavy cruiser. And I think it was with this line where we first got SAP. I don't think there were any SAP ships before this line. Venezia, really, really, really easy to citadel, but she's an absolute murder boat against pretty much any target. SAP lets her destroy destroyers. It's kind of a double use of that word. Just absolutely shred destroyers. It will let you murderate cruisers and rake the superstructure of battleships with increased pen more than you'd see with HE. And when this boat came out at first, everybody was playing Venezia, and it was Betaflex just said Venezia is a menace. What a great way to describe this boat. She does pay for that with terrible concealment, easy to citadel broadside. Like if you happen to get an angle on Venezia, you can just disassemble the thing. And what's interesting about Venezia is I don't see it played like a ton. It gets played, but it's not one of those evergreen in every battle ever present ships. Cheg, tell me about your Venezia thoughts, at least your initial thoughts.
Well, you missed one more part of her.
Oh, what did I? Oh, I definitely missed it. Yes, you should.
The sheer size of this ship, it is massive. It's so easy to hit.
I thought you were going to talk about the smoke, which I totally missed as well. You should talk about that too. But yes, she is in it very long. Right? That's an upside. Yeah. She's very long, though. You're right.
This ship has a special place for me because my learning curve in World of Warships was long and rough. And I played Venezia relatively early in my Warships career. And I have 100 games in it and very positive win rate. SAP just clicked for me when it came out. The first thing that I always, when I think about Venezia, is that she has quite a lot of barrels, and when you fire that salvo of SAP into a superstructure of any ship, and you hit a lot of the shells, you have this very specific sound that the game creates, which is like a big full pen hit. And then you see this 16,000, chunk of damage in a superstructure where that Kremlin that is perfectly angled couldn't do anything about it. It is so satisfying.
It's very Pavlovian.
Even more satisfying than this is sending torpedoes and forgetting about them, and then 7 hours later. Killing something with them.
Telegram for Cheg. Your torpedoes have finally landed.
And you're like, oh my God. good. It is so, and it happens more often than you would think.
Absolutely.
It's just crazy experience. So yeah, Venezia. I love Venezia. It's one of my favorite tier 10 ships.
Yeah.
I do not like all the ships in this line. I'll tell you that much. There are some that if we get to them, you'll see. But Venezia steps up so much, and it becomes such a pleasure to play.
Yeah.
And it has an escape. The tricky part about Venezia is her. So she has smoke, right? And she has like when you press smoke, you're in smoke. That's it. Like there's no thinking about it. Full speed, doesn't matter. That's Italian smoke. It's like vanish in World of Warcraft. Like if you're a rogue, like it just that's it. You're gone. However, she has pretty big caliber guns. So this means until you learn, you're gonna go smoke and fire your guns and get spotted and get killed. This is just a learning curve of Venezia. That's it. Like
that's for people who are less familiar with that mechanic. I think most of you guys here with us on Twitch probably know, but if you're newer, when you fire your guns and you're in smoke, your smoke detection goes from 2 kilometers to whatever your gun firing in smoke penalty is.
Right.
And the bigger your guns are, the bigger that range is. And so you got to know that range before you click that left mouse button is kind of what you're getting at.
Yeah. So there's a learning curve to this ship. But then just it's so effective against cruisers and especially destroyers. The gun trajectory is very flat, so you can't hide behind an island. But man, if you catch someone in the open water, you just rinse them. So yeah, it's easy to die, even though it's a heavy cruiser. She has a lot of, she has a lot of meat. However, her firepower is great. So I think it's like a very fair ship. When she came out, I think it felt like she was overpowered because people still did not understand fully how SAP works. For those who don't know, SAP cannot overpen. So if you know how to use SAP, it's easy to get like big hits. However, it saturates the target very quickly. So your hits into the same part of the ship, the enemy ship, like you get less and less, significantly less and less damage. You still will do damage, right? But it's less. And I think right now, if I think about Venezia, I think it's a very, very fairly balanced ship that is very satisfying to play. So smash for me.
Yeah, it's I have to agree. It's a smash. It's a fun ship to play. There's a penalty if you do it wrong, and there are incredible rewards if you do it right. And honestly, what else could you ask for, right? What a great way to play World of Warships. I think Venezia is great. We've had some conversations about Lighthouse Venezia. We've had some conversations about leg mod. The leg mod, I don't have personal experience with it, so all of this is secondhand. I made a comment in chat a bit ago where it basically makes your, if I recall correctly, makes your detection and everything worse, but you get more smokes and something about the cooldown changes so that you can just basically be in smoke more often. So while you're more visible, you can control your visibility using those smokes in a better way or a more available way.
I would describe it as like it doesn't really give you any advantage, but it might fit your play style more. That's exactly how it is.
That's
like,
a great way to say
I think the ship is the same strength with or without leg mod. Some people will enjoy it and be more successful with it. Some will be more successful without it. So it's not a must.
Yeah, I agree. And again, I think people dig it. Scotta comes back and says, so Betaflex's question about Lighthouse Venezia, he says Lighthouse with leg mod is, and that's because smoke kind of nullifies the lighthousiness. So you get all the benefits of Lighthouse, but you're in that smoke, and that helps you a little bit manage your detection. And really, that's a lot of what, World of Warships has. I always talk about them as survival strategies, where, you can survive by not being detected. You can survive by recovering from damage, but through healing, you can survive by avoiding damage in the first place. And the Venezia uses that smoke basically, and a little bit of maneuverability and speed as well, to avoid and manage its incoming damage.
I
Go ahead.
would argue,
what do you think?
She's not like a Wiggly ship in a way where you're gonna, because she's so big.
She's so long.
So it's not her agility, it's her size more than anything. So you're gonna get hit. However, she's a great kiter. Like if you're at a good angle, her armor scheme is good enough to mitigate a lot of damage. And so if you catch people, and again, gun angles, shooting like behind over the shoulder are pretty good. And she's agile enough to like turn slightly to get all the guns and then turn back to, mitigate, bounce the shells. And so very good kiter as well, which adds obviously to the gameplay style. That is if you survive the gamer turn, because she's not Gneisenau when it comes to that. Like if people catch you on the side, you're dead. That's it. Massive citadel. It's just like poof, you're dead.
Yeah.
And beefy enough so that nothing will go through this ship. You will not get over pens. If people know where to aim, you're dead. If they catch you sideways, you just it's over.
You take those big hits. And you know, when we talk about her maneuverability, you're totally right about, you know, she's not going to corner on a dime or anything. She is the second fastest tier 10 cruiser in the game, right behind Castilla, but not by much. So she's got some speed, and that will cause people to miss that first salvo. If you see shells splash behind you, start working on an angle change, because that means the second salvo is not going to miss, right? They're going to find you with that second salvo, and then you might suffer from some of the damage that Cheg was just describing. Looks like you're thinking about something. What do you got in mind?
I'm thinking like she's also fast enough so you can like utilize, if you're kiting, you can also utilize, you know, start stop kind of quite a bit. If someone's shooting for like big distance, like if you're having trouble with, I don't know, something like Vermont or Yamato, you know, start stop will make them miss quite a lot of, like the entire salvo might miss because of that. So
yeah, that's a good
change
point.
of speed helps on Venezia very much.
So Satsuma will kill you no matter what angle you have now, unfortunately, says Magic Grits. This is a true statement. I think we agree this ship is a smash.
She's smashable.
I'd be surprised if it's one of those ships that I'd be surprised if anyone would trash it, even if you're not like a big fan of it. Like it's just difficult to trash this ship.
I think so too.
Even though it's not that popular.
Yeah, it's weird that she's not that popular, because even people like I don't play Venezia too often, but I like it. I have memories of liking it, and even though I don't necessarily take it out of the garage, it's just a good one.
Agreed.
Now here's a conversation. Marlborough. Cheg, why don't you take us through the British dockyard battleship Marlborough? And chat, let's see what you guys think. I'd love to have some thoughts. I'm going to say, chat, give me the best 7-word review of Marlborough. I'll give you a challenge while Cheg is talking.
Is the only ship that has purple camo. A combination of purple and green. What an amazing trait.
I don't think that's true. I think there's some purple on what's the British steel battleship? The not St. Vincent. Oh, my memory is failing me. Incomparable? I think Incomparable. Doesn't it have some purple on it? That's not important.
So. That's right now.
It doesn't help your joke.
Because this is very important, because this is one of her biggest traits.
The purple.
She has a unique camo. Yeah. If you're not using the dockyard camo, wait.
Which is perhaps one of the worst dockyard camos. I hope that the artist who created that camo is not watching, because
I don't like that camo.
I do not like the dockyard camo.
Is green and black or gray and black. Actually, nice camos. Okay, so all jokes aside, this was a dockyard ship.
Yes, it was.
Has a lot of barrels, insane amount of barrels, and you can play it and has pretty good heel. Massive hull, and on paper you think about it, it's good fire chance, relatively good reload. You can shower people and set the world on fire, except for the only thing you're gonna set on fire is going to be ocean around the ships. The crew is blind. What can you do?
It got a very small buff. Okay, I think it went from 1.4 to like 1.5 sigma. All right.
That's why this crew from Marlborough.
Oh, man.
I have her because I'm not missing a ship that comes from the dockyard, and I played her a couple of times. After, you know, when it just came out, we all tried it, played it. You know, like you got to figure out what the ship is all about and everything. But then we did a couple of times like triple Marlborough division, and you'd be surprised how many misses, even when 3 Marlborough shoot the same target. Not very effective. It rains fire.
It does.
But, you know, it almost sets the ocean on fire. That's what it is.
Marlborough has 6. You talked about the insane amount of barrels, 16 barrels, right? They're 356s or 14-inch guns, as somebody dropped in chat, right? The Sigma, so Sigma, when we talk about dispersion in World Warships, there your shells will land in an ellipse around the point you clicked on the map, basically. There are probably going to be some technical particulars here where people will be like, technically, and push their glasses up their nose. But basically, there's an ellipse, that's an oval, around the point you clicked. There's a maximum width and a maximum height of that oval. And all the shells will go in random positions there. And then Sigma is, whenever we talk about Sigma in video games, we kind of say it mathematically wrong. But Sigma is the likelihood of those shells to land in the middle of the ellipse. In other words, closest to the point you clicked on. The Sigma for Marlborough is very, very, very low. We think of a ship with a 2.0 Sigma or maybe a 1.8 Sigma is pretty accurate. 2.0 is kind of the gold standard. That's what you want. And Marlborough's is 1.45. The best Sigma in the game is Stalingrad. I think it's 2.65. I haven't looked it up, but I think that's the number.
I think, isn't Slava better? But maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe. Chat can fact check us, or maybe I'll look here in a sec when I got a second. But that describes to you how bad the Sigma is. When Cheg's talking about splashing shells in the water, 1.45 Sigma is pretty. It's kind of a shotgun blast of these shells that go just about everywhere except for where
it has long range. It's like there's an ellipse of your Sigma, and if you're playing Marlborough, everything goes outside of the ellipse.
It's not quite that bad, but yes, I see where you're at.
Hit a different ship. That's good.
Yeah, and that's damage, Cheg. I don't know what your problem is.
Damage is damage. Eh?
And then the other thing is Marlborough's guns, they're because there's so many and because they're small caliber and because balance, it's got the lowest fire chance of any Tier 9 British battleship at 28%. She's not particularly well armored. Her dockyard camo is pretty ugly. This is the non-dockyard camo, by the way. Cause I found this poster.
Okay, I kind of dig this camo because it's so different.
I do like
the dockyard one. No,
the dockyard one is bad. Brutus is like, this boat's bad. Let's go. Next challenge.
We can. I mean, I'm trashing this.
I kind of like it though, Cheg. It's bad.
Really?
It's bad, but it's kind of fun. And you said one of the things that makes this boat pretty fun, which is triple Marlborough divisions. You can just burn and burn and burn and burn people. It's such a bad ship that I like it. It's like it's my child and I cherish it.
Can't use my last veto.
No.
You gotta veto this, chat.
I think I have to veto you.
He's about to do it.
No. I think I have to veto you. You don't have to spend a veto. Because I think you're right, and I'm gonna veto your trash. And chat is gonna be all over me for this. I will tell you right now, chat. I am looking right into the camera. Chat. I know this is a bad ship. I'm aware, but it's still kind of fun to play a bad ship every once in a while. I actually think maybe I need to trash it though, because I think it's actually the right answer. There's no meh, Merton. We got to go all the way to the end. I'm debating, Cheg. It is a bad ship.
I'm waiting for your decision. So I trashed it. I'm waiting.
You did. You've already voted. You've
not.
cast your trash. I think we have to say that it's actually trash. It's just that it's no, I don't know. It's fun. It's a fun boat. Because it is your love child. No, I did not birth this paper battleship. It's not a thing. I'll tell you what. Just because I want to use the game a little bit, I'm gonna veto your thing, and I'm gonna say this boat's a smash, unless you're gonna Uno reverse it.
I am Uno reversing this, guys. This is not going to.
Yes.
I cannot allow this to happen.
Sorry, oh, that's amazing. No, that is amazing.
There's no way in the world this is happening.
I actually didn't think you were going to do it.
More trashable ship than this.
I didn't think you were going to do it. I thought for sure you were going to be like, all right, fine, Clyde, you're crazy. But no. Uno. That's amazing. This ship, ladies and gentlemen, is trash.
This boat is trash.
I mean, I agree with you. If I end up playing it, I don't care. I can play this ship. I don't care. But it is so bad. I cannot let it go through.
I think, honestly, dude, I think you've done the community a service. I think that was probably the way it should have gone. Even though I'm like, but it's kind of fun though, right, guys? And everyone's like, no, Clyde, GTFO. We don't need you here, buddy. You're wrong. Ladies and gentlemen, Marlborough is trash. It's you heard it here first. Apparently, I need to change my opinion because, as Cheg said at the top of the hour, everything here is the absolute and final truth. This is the only thing that you could possibly believe. How could you disagree with us? Okay.
Oh my.
We are to the hood. I had you talk about Marlborough. There's another British battleship. I'm just going to come out with it. I love the hood. This is one of my favorite Tier 7 battleships of all time. It's got tons of hit points. It seems to at least get penetrations on enemy targets at any angle. She's very detectable, so she's easy to hit, easy to spot, and all of that kind of stuff. She's big too. When they brought this boat out, they're like, it's got rocket AA, and they made a big deal about the rocket AA, except for it's not animated any differently, and it doesn't really have amazing AA necessarily. It's just kind of a battleship that has some AA. But if you zoom in, it does have little rocket pods on it, which is kind of cool. Go ahead.
It has bad AA. Even with she has built-in death.
You're
AA,
like, hold on.
It's really bad. It's really bad. But yeah.
It's not great.
It's not her strong side. Not anymore, for sure.
Yeah. At the time, like for like 5 minutes, it was probably like, oh, okay, but like not anymore. It doesn't add up.
It was a selling pitch.
Yeah, it sold a few hoods, didn't it? But I like the hood a lot. I actually think the hood's a really good ship. At least I find her very fun to play. I don't see that I get a lot of citadels in it, but I feel like every salvo lands some pens and I get 7 to 10,000 damage, right? Is my experience in the boat. And then, so for me, this ship's easy smash. Like, I just love the hood. Cheg, what do you think?
As if she needed a sales pitch. It's a legendary real life
and it's
ship.
real, yeah.
It's hood. I mean, it's you have recordings of Hood getting in and out of the ports in real life, and how proud was the entire nation about this ship. This was a flagship. It's a proud real ship that actually was sunk, which you can also find. Like, if you don't know, you can actually find on YouTube how the Hood went down with the explosion and everything.
Yeah,
it was a lucky shot from I think Prinz Eugen, which was an escort to Bismarck. She was one of the ships that was chasing down Bismarck, and the lucky shot hit her magazine. It exploded, and it was insanely fast. The ship was sank in a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
But there were some survivors, so you can even find people talking about this experience as well. What an amazing historical ship it is. Also has great camouflages. Bottom of the ocean one with like all the shell holes and everything. Looks
That's
great.
my favorite camo. Maybe in this whole maybe not.
It's
really high on the list.
They both have it. It's so nice. But just the ship is. I feel like this is one of the most undervalued ships in the game. Her AP is so good. Unfortunately, her and what's the Duke of York? It's very common for British battleships to have insanely good AT, and people want to like spam and set fires, and then they misplayed this and the Dude of York, popularly called now, which they have really good AP. So Hood. Yeah. What Clyde is saying, you will have many salvos of 10 plus K hits just because they're pens. It's not going to be because of the trajectory and everything. You will not get many citadels. It's not a Roma or whatever, but it will deal consistent damage. It has an okay heal. It's beefy as hell. It's good in random battles. I rarely say this. Like, this ship is actually fun in random battles and does damage that matters. It's not HE. You're actually changing the trajectory of the game if you're hitting things with this ship, because AP is really good. Absolute joy and pleasure to play. I always love having a game with a Hood. One of my top ships. Absolute smash. I agree 100%.
Yeah, 100%. Chat has issued a correction, and they say it was Bismarck who fired the fatal shot. I haven't been able to fact check that, but
that's not true. It's one of the cruisers, 100%. I'm not sure if it's Prinz Eugen.
A challenge has been issued.
Yep, absolutely. I'm not going to take this. It was escort of Bismarck. That's true. They were like the shot was recorded, I think. Oh, maybe it was recorded from Eugen, but shot from. Maybe I'm wrong. Okay.
I've dropped the wiki article in there. You guys can double check for your own information because the history of this ship. Cheg, by the way, thanks for that, man, for reminding us that, of course, it's not just a video game. I mean, it is, but this video game does have references to real live historical ships, real live historical events, and all of that kind of stuff. And that does gives us like some feels about these little pixel boats that we play that does matter. I think that factors in, at least it does for me when I'm playing the game. And Hood being real, and of course, you know, I think it was Rick, Downriver Rick, who said, you know, she was the pride of the British Navy at the time, and that made her sinking and her loss so much more impactful, certainly as a real life event. And of course, it brings us some appreciation and some love for the ship as it is in the game today. So I think this is an easy smash for both of us. We love the Hood. Great boat.
Yeah. I could never trash this.
Yep.
She smashable.
Alrighty. Oh boy. Tier 4 has entered the chat.
Oh wow. Oh shit. Okay. I think we're one of few people who actually enjoy playing low tiers as well, which is not very common. So let's go.
Okay.
Oh my god. Wait, there's wrong spelling on this picture.
What is
it? Is Clemson.
Oh my gosh. You know
this?
what? I'll talk to the people. I'll see what I can do. Clemson. So Clemson. Actually, why don't you talk about Clemson? This is I just went through the Hood and then you shared some context, but why don't you start us off with Clemson?
What a menace. This thing.
The votes could go either way on this one, people. We could.
So just clarify this. There's good ships, and then there's overpowered ships. And then there's so overpowered ships that they would be balanced for sure. However, it's tier 4, so who cares, right? So you have people playing this ship exclusively with like thousands of games because it's such a menace in low tiers.
Mm-hmm.
It just wins the game on its own. It is insanely overpowered. But you gotta know how to play. So it's not gonna win the game on its own because it's a destroyer, right? So destroyers, in general, like new players will not feel this power in a destroyer because they don't know how to utilize it. However, if you're a good player, you go back to Clemson, then it becomes Clemson.
It's so
anyone can get it. It's
cruel.
Not a premium ship, so it's a tech tree ship, which makes it kind of fun.
If you played through it so fast, let me pick up the lead here. If you played through it so fast that you didn't bother to get the hull and gun and fire control upgrades, then you missed out on the best version of Clemson. I know because that's what I did, right? I actually didn't know that Clemson was the Clemson for years playing World of Warships because I skipped all the upgrades and just got the Nicholas and moved on. And then I heard, when I started getting involved with content creation and playing streams and meeting new people who play World of Warships, rather than just my small circle of friends, people were like, oh, Clemson's so strong. I was like, Clemson was terrible. What are you talking about? And they're like, no, man, it's so good, it's Clemson. So I went down there and I bought a Clemson. And I was like, and I upgraded it because at this point I have all the credits and stuff that I need in World of Warships, right? I'm a very long time player. As well. It's so cheap. It's like investment. Yeah, it's like free, right? You can get it. They give out Clemson in the mail with boxes of Tide, right? And so you go there and you click on Clemson, you upgrade it, and I go, oh, Clemson has 8 guns now. Oh, Clemson is like, it's got the long American smokes. Oh, I learned how to play United States destroyers. Hang on. And then you go in there and you realize that you can do literally anything you want to any ship that comes and faces you. Clemson is broken. We talked about U69 being broken earlier. That ain't nothing on this.
Nothing compared to
this. It is nothing on this, man. This is a broken ship. And the part that's sad about that is I like when there are broken ships low tier, or ships that even if they're not broken, they're so characterful that you love to play them as a new player. Case in point, my favorite example all the time, and you guys have probably heard me say this, is like St. Louis. Tier 3 American cruiser St. Louis. Everyone plays and they're like, okay. It's like I've been playing World Warships for a total of 2 hours, and I got this cruiser. I'm going to upgrade the hull. Oh my gosh, it has 40,000 guns now. This is my favorite ship. I love playing St. Louis. I will play St. Louis every day for the rest of my life. St. Louis, St. Louis, St. Louis, St. Louis, St. Louis. And people just, they love that ship. And Clemson is one of those. And it's great for those new players to come through and be like, okay, now I see why World of Warships is fun, right? We want them to have that light bulb moment. And then, of course, we have, you know, and I don't want to tell people how to have fun, but we have those people who go down and they exclusively play Clemson or Charleston. Charleston is a premium St. Louis. And they just have 7,000 games in this. And all they do is they club people with ships that are extremely overpowered. And I'm like, guys, please be nice to our new players. I want them to stay. I want them to have an experience that they enjoy and play. I want them to play to get up to the upper tiers or maybe to get into a clan and do clan battles. I want World Warships to bring people. And you got all these guys who are like trying to hold the door shut and keep people out. And I, you know, again, I don't want to tell you how to have fun. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Just one thing. Because this is much less of a problem than you think. I agree with you.
Maybe it is. Yeah, go ahead.
In MMORPGs, for example, this is a huge problem. If you play EVO Online or World of Warcraft, when someone keeps like ganking, you can't like, you know. But in World of Warships, you die when you're a new player and you go and play the next game. And today, you don't even have to wait for it because you used to have to wait your ship to come back out of the battle. There's not that many clubs and mains. You will not meet them every game and suffer. So they will kill you, and it for you
the experience isn't
but it's
so
not going to
bad.
deter you from playing the game. I don't think so. If you're a potential player,
Mhm.
but I'm with you. Like I don't know, it's rough. Look, I'm guilty of this. I play Vampire all the time. Like it's just
it's okay.
I can't,
like
I can't judge, but
yeah.
it is weird.
The good news is, if let me throw in one thought and I'll go right back to you. The good news is that like if you bump into a SEAL clubber at tier 4, you're gonna maybe play a couple more games and then you'll be at tier 5. So you won't spend a lot of time there unless you want to. And then Cody says something that's really delightful too, which is, hey man, if I'm in low tier and I see somebody SEAL clubbing in Clemson or St. Louis, I go after them, right? Because honestly, that's a hard fight even for an experienced player. But I know you had something you wanted to say a second ago. Let's go back to that.
Also, Skada brings up the protected matchmaker, which is broken if you join with anyone in division as well, which kind of, you know, but still, that's true. Like a lot of players are protected from Clemsons. I will say this is a gearing line, and gearing is a great destroyer. Like they're jack of all trades, very good, like daring and gearing, in my opinion, the best destroyer lines to learn destroyers, like very, like everything's good, but nothing is like exceptional. So they teach you a lot. But after Clemson, they have problem with like range versus detectability, and torpedoes, you know, versus detectability. Like they can't tell torpedo that easy. They, you know, like they're a bit rough to play after Clemson until you get to, I don't know, like tier 8, 9. Like Fletcher is already interesting and whatnot.
Yeah.
But my God, this thing, this thing is the absolute opposite. It's like you just go in this thing. If you know what you're doing, you just go and kill all the other destroyers, and then you're king of the sea. That's it. Like there's nothing to, you know, there's nothing.
And
to
you know what?
you.
And what's funny is you said you just go and kill all the other destroyers, and frankly, you said that so easily. And the Clemson can do it so easily. Oh, just go kill all the DDs. Yeah, okay. Let me just knock that out real quick. Oh man, it's pretty good. You know, I think despite some of the SEAL clubbing that goes on, this is just a great little boat. It just is. You know,
but is it great or is it broken? That's the thing for me.
Is it so broken that it's bad? You mean like it's trash? That's a good question. Is it bad? Because
I think I would trash Clemson. This is blasphemy, but for that reason, it's actually a broken ship. It's broken.
Yeah.
It is not the way it's supposed to be. But it's so difficult to trash because it's so fun. It's so
I know. It's funny because when we first started talking about this, I was like, this could go either way. It really could.
Yeah.
And then as we got talking about it, or go ahead.
Like if we had the ship like this, which we arguably might have, but not like this crazy.
Yeah.
In like tier 8, 9, 10, you'd be like, yeah, there something has to be done about this ship.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
It's breaking the game, quite literally.
You'd be calling your community managers, hey, what are you guys doing?
Yeah. And we're not talking Lenin or I don't know, like Smolensk or whatever. No, this is absolutely
way
game-breaking.
worse than all of those
Yeah.
boats. That is a good point. I was about to say, she's more smashable, right? But when we started the conversation, I wasn't sure. This is a really good point to bring up, right? Like, is this healthy for competition? Now, Theo says there are no battles below or at tier 4 anymore, right? You don't go down there and fight humans. You go down there and you fight robots and Clemson mains. And that's true. But it doesn't mean that there aren't players down there. I mean, there are. We have to remember that people are coming to the game all the time and coming in, and they have this gameplay experience.
People are regrinding lines, and they don't want to waste free XP on the low tiers because they can play a couple of games and that's it.
Yeah.
So yeah, or they just experiment and try and find another Clemson, which they will not find.
Not Clemson's fault. It's
the only one.
That's pretty funny.
I don't know. I mean, what's your take on this? I'm curious.
I'm really torn. I'm really split on this one.
Same.
Yeah.
I think the reason I would go for Smash is because everyone can have it. Like that's my.
It's so great. Like, everybody can have
anyone. There's a lot of low tier premium ships that are insanely powerful.
You talked about Vampire
you
earlier.
don't have to spend any. For example, Vampire or Julio or
yeah.
There's quite a few Kamikaze. Like
Charleston,
stuff like that.
Yeah, Kamikaze.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay, Charleston everyone can get because it's like 15k call.
That's true. It's free. That's true. Good point.
But Clemson is just tech 3 ships. Nah, I'll smash. It's fine. I'll smash. It's like anyone can have it. So the thing is, if someone ruins my day multiple times with Clemson, you know what I can do? I can go get the Clemson and try and do the same. I think that's a fair trade.
Yeah, I think we're going to let it squeak by with a smash. I think that's the right answer. But I think the conversation about it may be being unhealthy for the game. And you said the perfect thing, dude, which was, if this was a tier 8, tier 9, tier 10 ship and it was this dominant, like, it would have been nerfed into oblivion so long ago.
Or it would have killed the game. It would be insane. Everyone would just play it.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, they would have stopped it before it killed the game. But yeah, you're right. Like, they would have brought it low. So let's go ahead and smash up the Clemson here. But I think that conversation is really worth having.
She smashable.
We just had a long conversation about tier 4 ship. Let's go.
Dude, I love it. I hopefully that's entertaining.
Same.
We got a lot of engagement in chat, so that's good.
Maybe some people did not know how strong it is. It might go now. We might get more Clemson mains, like who knows?
Maybe, yeah. Cheg, what if we went lower? What if we went lower? I'm going to tell you what I think about Mikasa. I'm going to tell you right now. This boat is just terrible. All it's good for is a meme. It's not good. It's too slow. Its secondaries only go 3.4 kilometers. When you shoot the shells, they go like this. It's just a bad boat, and everybody pretends that it's good, but it's not actually good, Cheg. It's a bad boat.
No. Okay. Stop.
I want you to walk me off this ledge, please.
Mathematically, factually, what you just said cannot be true.
Cannot be refuted, you mean? Come on.
Any better battleship at tier 2.
Oh, get out of here.
A better battleship at tier 2.
Get right out of here. So Cheg is pointing out that there is only one tier 2 battleship. It is the best battleship at tier 2 because it is the only
tier 2 battleship in the game. There's no doubt about it.
Bro.
So immediately cannot be bad.
No, it's so bad. It's so bad.
I bought Mikasa on my NA account.
You what?
That's all I'm gonna say.
You don't have it, or you want it?
Well, I bought it. I
it.
spent money to get this ship. It's that easy.
Listen. I'm gonna go ahead and say something that seems like it would contradict everything that I just said. I have a 21-point commander on my Mikasa.
Hey,
now that is not because I could afford to do that. It's because I had a spare one from CC Tomfoolery, and I put him on there. It is King Kong, I believe, and so he growls at everybody while we try. Or not King Kong. Godzilla. Godzilla. It is Godzilla, I believe. Thank you. This is just. It's a good idea, but a bad boat. Somebody points out this is a real.
So cute. I love it.
It's a real steel ship. It's a museum you can visit in Japan, which is really cool, by the way, the fact that it is real.
That's
I like
a huge plus for me always.
It is. And it's got black camo on it in the game, which I think looks great. Like, but like, this, everybody wants to use Mikasa secondaries because you can build it for secondaries, but like they're 3 something kilometers.
They don't hit anything.
They don't hit anything. You can't catch anything.
But look, you're a streamer. This is a streamer ship.
Yes, it is.
Both of us for sure experienced, Mikasa only games where you're only allowed. We make a preset of rules that you can only use secondaries. Like it would make any difference because main guns cannot hit anything.
No kidding. The main guns are so
you
bad.
Remember Marlborough? Well,
I do remember Marlborough.
Let me tell you something. And it's so much. Look, when you do that, and it's so cheap. Okay, it's so cheap that you can play a couple of games of ranked, and then you can get enough doubloons and just buy in, and it will make you, if you get into an organized game of Mikasa's, it will make you laugh so much. Like people are jumping off their chair because they've hit something with a secondary. It's freaking insane.
But you had to create an artificial scenario for that to even happen. It's fake.
But let me tell you something. Okay, let me convince you. There really is no other ship that you would more easily create a scenario for than this. Like that's what it is. And I think it's okay in 700 ships to have one of these idiotic ships that is in such low tier that it doesn't matter at all. It's not affecting the game in any way, shape, or form, and you can't allow yourself to have fun, especially if you have a platform. I mean, so for me, this is a smash. It's a smash.
It's so bad though, Cheg. You're not wrong though that there is fun available to us as players and specifically as like streamers. Like if you are a solo World of Warships player, you always play by yourself. You just don't watch Twitch, right? Maybe you watch the occasional YouTube video. That player will never have fun in Mikasa unless they like bad boats. And I'm a guy who likes bad boats, and I don't like playing Mikasa that much. But if you're a part of a community, and if you're watching this video right now live, you're on Twitch, you're part of a community. If you're watching it on YouTube, maybe you are. That's up to you, right? Maybe you feel like
you know it exists.
You can be,
so
right? Because you can choose that, right? Those players can create, as I said, it's an artificial scenario. We made no using your mains, secondaries only, Mikasa battle. That kind of a thing is, you're not wrong. That is very fun. And it, like you said, 700 ships, can't one of them be for stupid shit like that? Pardon my French, but, and maybe the answer there is yes. Chat, I need your guidance. Chat, let me know.
Like, how can you even,
Tier 2 battleship. To be fair, I have this boat. I paid for it. I've given this boat away as prizes because of streaming. I think I had a stream where I gave away 4 Mikasas. Like I was just handing them out like candy, just like, let's go, let's get Mikasas
because
out
you
there.
need people to populate the lobby,
I think that was part of it because we were doing a thing. Gosh. I think I will let you convince me that this is a smashable boat. Chat seems to say it's a smash. And I've scrolled up and looked at some of the older posts as well. So ladies and gentlemen, against all odds, against my better judgment, against all factual information, we think that Mikasa is smashable.
She's smashable.
Correction, we know that Mikasa is smashable.
Terrible. I should have vetoed you. But I decided not to. I was like, you know what? He doesn't have another Uno reverse to use against
Well, I
me.
would have used the reverse on this if you vetoed, but I don't have.
But you don't have one. You'd be stuck.
True.
There's no right answer to that question. I think both answers are true. Mikasa, universally terrible, but a lot of fun. So how do you figure that out?
Yeah.
All right. We're having a good time. I know I told you guys we'd try to do this in an hour and a half, but I think we're having a good time, and I think we're probably coming close to the end of the list of boats. So let's do a couple more, and we'll see how we're doing.
Yeah.
This is, oh my gosh, Tiger 59, Tier 8, extremely light, extremely unarmed cruiser from the UK light cruiser division. Cheg, how you feeling over there?
I don't know. You go for this one.
Okay, let's be real about Tiger 59. I kind of had a rant about the last one. Tiger 59 has a lot of tools. I think she's got like smoke and radar and all kinds of stuff. Let me pull those up just to make sure. But what she has is not enough guns. She's very low armored. She's got a heal. She's very maneuverable.
So
she's very stealthy.
Heal.
Yeah,
She has super heal. She has 360 guns that are. Saying this ship doesn't have enough guns is like saying Druid doesn't have enough guns. I'm just gonna say that because of the firepower, the rate of fire.
I was gonna get there. Yeah, so she's got 2 turrets, right? And people look at that and they go, "Not great." What's the reload on it? Do you have that in front of you?
I can't have it.
It's not very short, or it's not very long. I don't think.
No, it's Daka ship, definitely. Just
3.2 seconds base. So depending on builds, it'll be a little bit more. So Tiger 59 is one of those boats that has so many tools in the toolbox. Like you said, super heal, which can heal 40% of its hit points back.
3.2 with commander, yeah.
Yeah. It's got radar. It does not have hydro. But it does have a defensive AA fire, and it's got smoke. So when you've got this is a trifecta. We talked about survival strategies that ships have earlier. So it can smoke to stay out of sight, to stay alive. It can super heal when it takes damage to stay alive. And it can use radar to spot targets while enshrouded in smoke. That's actually a pretty powerful package. So when we talk about the Daka, I want you to, maybe I'll have you talk about the guns a little bit, right? Because people tell me, and they tell you, and they tell everybody, Tiger 59 would be really great if it had 2 more guns. What do you say to that?
If we talked about this ship a year ago, I wouldn't even think about it. I'd be, why is this even in game?
Real steel ship, I think, is one reason, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, but I mean, they could have made it better or whatever.
Yeah.
And then out of a challenge, someone challenged me to play it in a ranked game, nevertheless.
Oh man.
And I played it, and I've played it many times after, man. I find this to be such an enjoyable, satisfying experience when you pull it off, like maybe no other. And cherry on top is. People get so surprised if you pull off a good game in this shit. Like, you will have enemies telling you, what the fuck? It's Tiger 59. What happened?
Yeah.
I would say her guns are not that bad, really. Like, people don't like it, but
they're Minotaur guns.
They're not bad.
Right? And Minotaur guns are good.
Exactly.
It's just that Minotaur has like 10 of them or something, right? So.
Well, it has better, like, it has like something's like better angles or something like that. I don't know. Like, it doesn't have that part of Mino guns, but it's like the same caliber and stuff like that. But yeah, so it's weird, but I enjoy playing this ship now so much. I cannot say it's like an exceptional ship or anything like that, but I found joy in playing this ship more than I would have ever expected. And I so happily jump into this ship nowadays on my own. No one has to push me into it. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. I should not like this ship, but like I don't like AP only ships except for Druid, and then this, and I just enjoy playing it. I don't know what that it makes no sense, but I'm actually having so much fun.
There are very few.
Also, smoke radar.
Smoke radar is so good. And I'm going to say this, and some of you guys might be like, that's crazy, Kled. But like, there are not that many boats in World of Warships that are like really unique experiences. And this one, even though we have other smoke radar boats, we might not have other smoke radar super heel boats, or maybe we don't have smoke radar super heel boats that have not enough guns. I'm putting air quotes around this one for our conversation here, but like,
I don't think we have another super heel. Okay, let me just say something. Super heel is a non-factor on this ship, because everything that hits you is a citadel. You will not like your heel is like you don't need heel at all. This ship would be the exact same experience with no heel at all. The only thing that heel helps you from is like if someone sets you on fire or a destroyer pushes you, and like, you know, that you can survive. Although if it's a German destroyer, it's just gonna citadel you. Like, I don't understand super heel in this ship at all.
I mean, you're gonna get something back from the heel, but I think that it might be the same as a non-super heel, right? In terms of how many hit points you're gonna get back.
True.
You know, so like,
but also you usually die in like 1 or 2 salvos anyways if you get hit. So
most ships can survive 2, even ships that, you know, you might be down to 3,000 hit points, right, or 2,000 hit points, but usually you could take 2 hits. But long story short, she's got a bunch of stuff. She does bring, I think, kind of a unique play experience. And not everyone is going to like unique play experiences. The most popular ships in this game are pretty much, you know, well-trod paths. They're, you know, paved roads where you go to the exact same kind of, well, if you will, for ideas, and you come back with something that everyone's, it's kind of, it's good, I guess, and it's pretty good. It's got like maybe a little bit of uniqueness. This boat is all uniqueness. It's all weird corners and edges, and none of it is like anything else. And that part is intriguing to me. For a long time, I had 100% win rate in my Tiger 59, I think, for like 8 or 9 battles. That is not, maybe 7 or 8 battles. It is not true anymore. I should probably look this up and fact check myself. But like, for a minute, I had like a 100% win rate, and it just worked.
That's
I didn't have
a long
good
streak for a ship like that.
Yeah, and I didn't have good damage or anything. It was just like maybe I was being carried, I'm sure, but it's not that way anymore. But like I have fun playing Tiger 59, and it's because it's bad. We talked about Mikasa just a second ago. Mikasa's terrible, and you can create scenarios where Mikasa's fun to play. And Tiger 59 is not as bad as Mikasa. In no world is it as bad as Mikasa, but it is quirky and weird, and thus I think that makes it a lot of fun to play.
I mean, it's such an unpopular ship, which for me, I always like playing ships like that.
Yes, same.
I can't make Marlborough work. Like, that's just horrible experience. But this is different. And then you have no expectations. When you get into this game, you're laughing. You're like, I'm going to get exploded in the first minute. And then if you end up playing 10 minutes later, everything you do makes you feel good. You know, like you're just like, oh, wow, I'm still alive. I'm still dealing damage and whatnot. So, yeah.
We're doing Smasher Trash. Smasher Trash does not have a green screen. Yeah. My wife's like, why is your green screen on it? What's going on? It's okay. Hello. Do you want to say hi to Chat? She says hi. All right. I'll talk with you later. Sorry, guys, for the brief interruption. Merton says, I do enjoy unpopular ships. I'll never apologize for you. Again. She's like, don't apologize for me.
She's the voice behind the amazing audio cues that we have for the show. So
the little intro cues. This
part
is true.
Of the show.
Yeah, she's on the show. You guys have already heard her voice once.
Exactly.
But anyway, unpopular ships are great, and I like to go out there and defy expectations in them, and I find it fun to be good at a boat that is disliked. So again, I find enjoyment and fun in that, and that's a thing that kind of came along for me as I passed, 10,000 battles and 7 years in this game, right? Like the longer I play it, the more I crave like weird, unique experiences, and I want boats to be different. And I don't want to say gimmicky because people have a negative connotation with that, but I want boats to be unique and different. And I think Tiger 59 scratches that itch. I think chat wants us to trash this boat, but I think we're going to smash this boat. Cheg, is that what you're thinking?
I cannot trash this boat.
All right.
I wouldn't veto you if you trash it, but I cannot trash it. I
think I'm in the same boat.
I don't know. I just enjoy it. I don't know. It's weird, but I just enjoy it.
Yeah. It's okay to like bad boats. And
yeah,
this is
what
one
it
of them.
is. Yeah.
Yeah. Smashed.
I would say, don't spend your money on this, right? If you get it in a container for free, give it a couple of tries.
That's the big thing, especially with Santa crates and the ways that players get boats on accident, not intentionally. I always tell people, hey man, if you've had this in your port for 6 months and you've never tried it, go give it a try. What are you waiting for? You know, don't let the internet tell you what to play. And I know that we're the internet right now, but like, you know, go try stuff and see what you think. That's the best way to go.
This is one of the reasons that this ship is like kind of not liked, I think, because I think a lot of people, if they get it in the container, they're bummed that they didn't get something, you know, more useful. So
something, yeah.
So I think we are also, it's easier for us to enjoy this ship because we have all the ships, right? Like we have all the premiums, we don't care. So for me, just a ship in a port, and I played it whenever I felt like, but it never hurt me. Like this ship never could hurt my experience with the game in terms of like maybe getting something better. So yeah. Maybe there's that a bit as well.
Yeah, that's definitely a part of it. Like if you're a player who's got a newer account, you've got like 15 premiums or 10 premiums or something, and many of those you got from the coal store or whatever, and then you buy your first 5 Santa boxes and you get Tiger 59 and the internet told you it was terrible. That might make you a little sad. And we got to recognize that, you know, the benefit and the privilege we have to have hundreds of ships in our port. And that makes our opinions on these boats different. And when we say that, that's true of anybody who's doing this kind of stuff, like CCs who have all the boats, or longtime players with YouTube channels. And you know, the perspective we have is different. And you got to translate that to yourself. For sure. It's definitely skewed.
Also, I mean, if you're a new player and you get this, you will have really rough experience in it. Like if you don't know how to play, it's yeah. You know, there's another thing. Like British ships have really bad brakes, so to say.
In terms of stopping power,
you will pop smoke and you know get a little bit out of it because you don't have experience with it. When you will think you're gonna stay in the smoke and you're just gonna get deleted and that's it. So it's a rough ship, but once there's a sweet spot where you can appreciate this ship, and then it's very satisfying.
Trying to find my numbers here. Tiger 59, 8 battles, 62% win rate. So I must have had, I must have had a 5 game win streak, and then I lost the last 3 or something. Yeah. Anyway,
but still, that's still a good win rate.
And we got to play more than 8 battles. We'll have to get out and play Tiger 59 some more. Brand is here. Brand, you're in luck. It was smashed already. But we're ready to go on to our next one. Let's keep the show moving.
Sure.
And we'll go to Aigle, Tier 6 French destroyer Aigle, the first French destroyer in the game. Cheg.
Ooh.
Tell us about Aigle.
Not a really good concealment. The ship is exceptionally big, large, long.
Jizz.
Premium. But I would say this is, if you like playing gunboats, this is a great premium destroyer to spend your first call on. Also has really cool camo. The red numbers on French DDs, the old French DDs, on the black, you know, part of the camo always look good to me. I don't know, red on black is good.
I rushed home from work and bought this boat for money, I think, because of the camo. I was like, yes, must have camo.
It's so simple, right? It's just a regular camo and then a red number on it. It just works, man. I don't know why, but it just works.
So cool.
It's a great ship if you know how to use its strengths. She's kind of beefy, but no heel. Okay, torpedoes, like range-wise, I think it's 8.
I think it's 8 kilometers,
Yeah. And she's really good in ranked. She's perfectly fine. The problem, she's perfectly fine in randoms, but if you're playing against tier 8, you're going to struggle. Like, you know, because you can't meet, I mean, like British tier 8 destroyers with 5.8 concealment, or sorry, 5.5 concealment. And, you know, it can be very rough.
Yeah.
But for as long as you're like your tier or lower, you are a menace and you are scary. Like, because she, same as kind of higher tier French ships, she can already like go into a knife fight, barely survive because no heal, kill a destroyer or 2, and then farm, you know, big ships, set them on fire. Just like tier 6 ship where destroyer where you can get like 100k damage if you know what you're doing, which is really, really good.
Yeah.
So I do like Aigle. I like Aigle.
Aigle is Aigle is She really benefits from the idea that the tech tree has come out. When this boat first came out, they were like, it's a French DD. It's really fast. It's really big. It's easy to see. We'll give it smoke, I guess. And then it's got pretty good guns. And nobody knew how to play French DDs when this boat came out because it was the first one. And so we all learned, anybody who was around and who got the boat was learning to play French DDs with this boat. And then they said, I don't know, it's not as sneaky as my other boats, or it, it doesn't do this that I'm used to from other destroyers. This boat's odd. I think some folks, of course, knew right away that it was powerful. And you're right, the way Cheg described it, it is powerful. And I think it's pretty clear to see that. I think we're going to smash this boat. But the ship is a lot better because you have an entire tech line that teaches you what to do with a French DD. And then you come back here and now you got Aigle and it's got smoke, right?
Yeah, that smoke is insane.
So now,
for those who don't know, French destroyers don't have smoke. So that's exactly what you're saying. Like you're used to not having smoke, and then when you have it, this is this gives it an edge.
We talked about returning to those lower tiers where you used to play boats and knowing more now. When you come back to this thing with all of the French tricks, not everything, you don't have reload booster, right? But you do have good DPM and you got good speed and everything. And now you got a smoke and you can use that smoke to make horrible things happen to your enemies. I think Aigle is really, really benefited from the idea that the tech lines exist now. Whereas initially you kind of had to find your own way for this boat through the forest or whatever. And now you can come back and adapt from a really well understood method of playing French destroyers. So again, I think this is just a great boat. She's beautiful. She's powerful. She works at tier 6. She's fun in tier 6. Like when you're in ranked, you can play Aigle when it's tier 6 and 7, and then you'll draw in somebody else who's playing a tier 6 destroyer that's probably not as powerful as Aigle. And then you can go beat that guy up and then farm the rest of everybody else because it plays up nicely,
Yeah, it's the same effect as playing Massachusetts in tier 9 ranked, tier 8, 9.
Yeah.
Where like if you choose Massachusetts, if the enemy battleship tier that has to match your tier picks anything else, your team is in advantage already. And it's the same for Aigle as well. I do agree. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a number of ships that do that. T61, right, is a great destroyer, which one day we'll probably talk about. But it might be on this list, actually. I don't know. I don't remember. But, we may have, we'll see those other ships coming along and that you can use in ranked in that same way. But Aigle is one that you can do that with.
I don't know if my pronunciation is good, by the way. I don't know. It's a really weird
think it is Aigle. I think it's Aigle. And I want it to be Aigle.
It means eagle. I checked. It means eagle. That's what it is. Basically.
Yes. Eagle. Same with Aquila, which also means eagle, right, which we talked about earlier. So anyway, I think we're smashing this one. Cheg, confirm?
Yeah, I think we can agree that smash. Yeah. This is a good ship.
She's smashable.
Yeah, totally, for real. Good boat. Okay. Let's do another one. Leipzig. So Leipzig came out last year. It is kind of like a Nuremberg, but not a Nuremberg. So similar, maybe it's a Königsberg hull. I can't remember. It's like either Königsberg or Nuremberg. 1 turret forward, 2 turrets on the back. And then this one has good concealment and long torpedoes. I want to say they're 10-kilometer torpedoes and something like an 8-point-something concealment. So it's like, what if Königsberg/Nuremberg was a torpedo boat? What do you think of Leipzig? I kind of like Leipzig. We got Leipzig and Tokachi kind of all at the same time. And they were both this weird like torpedo light cruiser build that I don't think was necessarily... It's a quirky idea, and I don't think it's necessarily popular with everybody, but I kind of found them an interesting challenge.
So 9.7 concealment, 10-kilometer torps on a kiting cruiser, which means you can
torpedo
lure
kiting,
people.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, technically the hull is made so it's like a rune, right? You have your gun, you have more firepower in the back than in the front, which not a lot of ships have, right? It's like rune.
Right.
I think Nuremberg, Leipzig. There's only few, right? So you are like, even if you're a brand new player, it will probably come to you that maybe you want to go in and turn around and go backwards and be ready to escape.
Right.
The truth is, with this ship, if you get hit from behind by a battleship, you're gonna die anyways. It doesn't matter. You can't. your hull is too weak for that. But it does teach you that idea. I mean, first of all, these guns are great. You will hit things with these guns.
So that
you will hit destroyers with these guns.
You said 9.7 detection. I think if you throw a captain on there.
Yeah. If you with detection.
Are you sure?
Wait.
I don't think that is. I think that's wrong.
This is wrong. No, it's wrong. Yeah, because
you'll be a little bit better.
I got
because it's 9.67.
It is 8.7. 8.7.
Okay, I was gonna say I thought it was 8.8, but 8.7.
You know what happened?
Better.
We got the ship through current dockyard. I had it already.
Oh, and they put
the commander.
And they put that.
And then this 6. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they put the dumb commander instead of your smart commander on there.
Yeah, exactly. So 8.7.
Okay,
which is 1.3 kilometers. Stealth difference for torpedoes.
Yeah.
So I got this ship when it came out, and I played it with zero expectations, and I had a lot of fun in it.
I thought I was gonna hate it. I thought it was gonna be bad.
I mean, I was like, why would I play this over Tech Tree? And Tech Tree, we literally talked about this. This is a difficult ship to play if you're new, but if you come back to it, you're like, oh my god, these guns are good, right?
Yeah,
like the early
Nuremberg
ships.
Yeah,
exactly. Tier 5, Tier 6, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And even 7, and then add stealth torpedoes to this, and it just clicks. It's if you figure out the gimmick, it just feels good to play it. That's what I'm gonna say.
The gun range is shorter though, isn't it? Yeah, it's shorter than Nuremberg's by 3 kilometers. So Leipzig is 13.5, Nuremberg is 16.5 kilometers. If I was choosing a boat and I wanted to like make sure I won the game and everything, and that was the only thing that mattered to me, and frankly, I always try to win every game. But if I was really saying, what's the boat between Nuremberg and Leipzig that's going to give me the best chance of victory, it's going to be Nuremberg, for sure.
Yeah.
Leipzig's a different way to play World of Warships, right? It's a different way to play light German cruisers. And so, like, I'm glad that it exists. I think I would choose Nuremberg. I don't think I would trash this ship. I think I would smash it. But it's kind of like closer to trash than other ships maybe we've talked about today. But I still think it's a good boat. It's a variety pick for play styles and things. And I'm glad it's in the game. I think it's cool. So for me, this is a smashable boat. But again, Nuremberg I think is probably a more powerful general purpose cruiser.
And I like the idea of Tech Tree ships being more powerful than their
that's always cool.
Ships,
free ships being nice.
Yeah. But it's really a gimmicky ship, and if you like the gimmick, you're going to enjoy it. She has a lot of issues, like she has a standard torpedoes on top of the hull, so they can be broken. And if you lose your torpedoes, you've lost your gimmick. Then you're just a bad Nuremberg. So that has to be taken into consideration.
You're in Nuremberg with a really bad gun range, and we talked about that 13.5 kilometer gun range. The thing that's interesting there is the gap between gun range and detection. So Nuremberg's detection is also 3 kilometers or 2.5 kilometers worse, right? So like that, at least before putting commanders and things on there. So I think, it kind of doesn't feel totally different. You got to be careful about destroyers, of course, when you're playing as close as you will with Leipzig.
It does have one hidden advantage, because what are you going to use your guns on? Early game, you're going to try and kill a destroyer with this.
Yeah.
And because your range is so short, it's the same thing as Italian destroyers, but your gun bloom is not big. So you might kill a destroyer, and immediately, even though you fired, you might immediately become stealthy again, which people don't even realize this happens, but it might save your life.
Yeah. That's 13.5 still a little scary early game, but I see what you mean. Yeah. It's better than Nuremberg, which is 16.5.
Yeah.
Or 16, whatever. But
I'll say, I don't remember how was this even purchased in the first place.
It was available. I think you could get it for free. There was an event where they did the cool camos for like Preußen, that like retro futuristic camo.
Oh, it was that one that is back now. That's actually back now.
Yeah, actually it is, with the robot captain. You could get tokens to get Leipzig. I think you could get Leipzig for free, or maybe very cheap. I don't remember. But if you got Leipzig, you wouldn't be able to get some of the other stuff, right? The way they always do that with the tokens.
I wouldn't pay money for this. So if we had
you're
this
saying
ship,
you would not pay money?
No. But I'm happy I have it. That's the thing. And if we had this ship, if we had this situation, talking about Leipzig, trash or smash, a month ago, I would say trash. Because it's not worth the money. It's a good experience, but it's not worth the money. However, we have a situation now where this is a free ship in a dockyard.
Yeah, you can get it in the dockyard.
And free premium ship that is fun to play, for me, has so much value.
Yeah.
That's just so good, you know? Because you're going to end up getting it for free. You might not want it, but you're going to get it for free. And then you might try it and be like, oh my God, look at this. The torpedoes on this are 10 kilometers with okay reload and everything. You might have
Maybe
fun.
I can do this.
Then
yeah.
the value is like there because it was free, right? And you can make money with it and whatnot. So yeah.
If I was looking at a list of tier 6 ships and they were all for sale for $24 US or whatever, I wouldn't pick this one first. I think you're right. Would you spend full price for it? No. If you can get it for free or for
better
cheap,
ships at tier 6.
There are
to spend money on.
And so, like, given, and when we talked about the releasability, like the way we got Kleber CLR earlier, right? You know, that was a factor in talking about its smash or trash. And the same is true here for Leipzig. It's just that it's going the other way. You know, we like to give Wargaming crap about their monetization of the game. I understand they have to pay for servers, and there are people who have jobs that need to pay for their rent and food and everything. And I support all of that. But we got to look around and go, you know, there's a lot of free ships. There are more free ships in the game today than there ever have been, right? And there continue to be more. And so that's a good thing. And again, if this is a boat, like you said, if this is a boat that's been sitting in your port, you know, and you just haven't tried it yet, I think it's worth trying. I think it's smashable. I think probably it's a little closer to the middle, right? I could see people saying, no, trash this boat. I don't care. And that's fine. It's not like a strong must play boat, but I do think that for the price and the way that it was distributed.
Yeah. Being free just makes it a smash one for me. That's just, because it's fun.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's smash this one and move on.
She's smashable.
Interesting ship. Another one that I wouldn't have expected to come out.
An oddball pick for sure.
It's not that common. Now it's going to be more common, but
yeah, we'll see. We'll see how the player base reacts to it as they start getting it unlocked.
Meh plus, that's a good one.
Merton.
That's perfect.
All right, Prinz Rupprecht. This has been a long discussion. Maybe we only need to do like 12 ships. I'm having fun, but it feels like we've been going for a while. Prinz Rupprecht is a tier 9 tech tree battleship, battle cruiser on the Schlieffen line. This is the last stop before Schlieffen. And I've got a picture of it here with a beautiful camo that I do not have.
I don't have it either.
Very jealous.
I have it on Zeven, but that's it.
Very jealous. I have it on Zeven too. That's the only one I have. And it still looks slightly different than this one. Prinz Rupprecht, I'm just cutting right to the chase. This boat's a gas. This boat's so much fun to play. I think this is a great ship. I actually kind of had more fun in this than I have had in Schlieffen since I got Schlieffen. And I don't know why. Maybe just because I was grinding through it and having a good time. What do you think about Rupprecht? What do you think about secondary battleships, Cheg? Let's get your opinions out there on the table.
So these are two different things.
Okay.
My opinion on secondary ships, I used to be like what you could call a secondary ship main. And to this day, I enjoy playing it even more because I've learned more about the game and I'm not a secondary battleship anymore. So
you got rid of that keyboard you used to have that has 120 W's on it? Did you used to have one of those? Sorry, continue. I derailed you.
No, you're good. You're good. And I definitely was, and I would get frustrated because I get killed by torpedoes, and what can I do? And but that was early days.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy like putting myself into a position where my ship like secondary shoot on both sides, and then you get Luchens, and it's even red, and it's just a very satisfying view, kind of. However, so I love secondary ships. There is no scenario in which I would take this over Pommern.
Really?
Yes.
I have a strong disagreement, but let us discuss. Please keep going.
Which is great. I think
absolutely.
A lot of people like Schlieffen line more. I am a huge fan of GK, not a big fan of Preußen.
That's funny. I like Preußen.
Freddy is rough. Like Freddy is really good if you main gun spec it. Can be secondary, but it's just not. This just doesn't work the same. So if you look tech tree, if you want to play secondaries, Rupprecht definitely a better choice than Freddy. But I do enjoy playing Pommer because it's more brawly, torpedoes, all that stuff. Although your torpedoes usually get smashed before.
Well, you got torpedoes on Rupprecht as well, and they go twice as far as the ones on Pommer.
You don't have the hull. That's the thing.
That's true. It's a little less brawly.
And for me, the way I play secondary battleships, with my favorite secondary battleships are like GK Pommern and then Georgia. Like Massa Georgia Ohio, which is a little bit different of a game style and even spec and everything. But the reason I love them is because I want to be annoying and I want people not to be able to kill me while I'm in their face.
Yeah, you don't want them to ignore you. Yeah.
Because they cannot just delete you if you position yourself properly. Now I do think you're gonna have like more satisfying experience with like the number of like you can play Schlieffen and have like 800 secondary hits in a game.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna get that. Well, you might, but it's not like a common occurrence in the GK. But yeah, I played GK. I even made my NA account to get GK before it goes to call so that I can have it, on that account. And I did it. I did a grind and everything on a brand new account.
I made my EU account so I could get Kaba before it went to call. That was the reason.
It was the same. They went out the same.
At the same time. That's hilarious.
Same day. Yeah.
That's the whole reason.
The Schlieffen was announced, and I was so excited about it. And I played it, and I had fun. And then I had like many games where I would try to pull up the same things that I do with my GK, and I would not get burned to the ground, but I would get clapped sometimes, and I didn't like that. And then in ranked where I mostly play, I just found these 30 ships to be just better at like keeping caps or protecting or staying the cap at all costs or whatever. And it just I don't know. If you ask me, would you play Schlieffen or GK? I will take GK like probably 9 out of 10 times. So therefore, I will acknowledge that Rupprecht is an absolutely great ship, maybe even better than Pommern, and I will trash it because there's no way I'm playing it over Pommern. Like there's zero chance.
I love it. So I will always play this over Pommern, but part of that comes back to my playstyle in battleships. I come to battleships late because I decided that destroyers were more fun, right? So I went the complete opposite end of the spectrum, with the exception of something like a carrier at the time, and submarines didn't exist. And I went to destroyers, and so I got really like kind of addicted and into going fast and maneuverability and all of that kind of stuff, which is half the reason why I do terrible game returns in ships that have no ability to do them, because I think I can get away with it because destroyers taught me how to play World of Warships, destroyers and Japanese cruisers. And so like when I come to a battleship line, if I line up all of my favorite battleships in a row and I put all the ones that I don't like as much on this side, you'll see a trend where I like maneuverable, battle cruisery, lighter battleships. Those are the ones that speak to me and they play well for me. So of course I'm naturally going to go get your FDGs and get your Pommerns out of here. I'll take Prinz Rupprecht with the hydros and the longer range torpedoes, and the Schlieffen secondaries are not necessarily the selling point for me. It's the maneuverability and it's the longer torpedoes and that kind of stuff.
Okay.
Which is kind of interesting. People love the Schlieffen secondaries, and I'm not the world's foremost, well, anything for the record, but I'm not the world's foremost Schlieffen player. I've only probably played the ship a single digit number of times since I unlocked it. But I did play all the way through Prinz Rupprecht, and I had a good time doing it. I don't even remember what my numbers are. It doesn't matter for the way that this show works. But like,
but it's a feel that you get, right?
Exactly, it was the feel. And so like when I think of Pommern, I always think, I looked it up while we were talking. Pommern has better hydros than Prinz Rupprecht. They go an extra 0.5 kilometer, 6 kilometers. Rupprecht's are 5.5. Pommern has 4 heels. That appear to be approximately equivalent, based on there's percentages involved, so it's not the same. But it's got 4 heels instead of 3 heels as you have on Prinz Rupprecht. And then Rupprecht has the limited damage control party. So there, when you talk about
very low cooldown,
survivability,
right? It's a Soviet discipline.
yes,
So
yes,
it's
yeah.
because Pommern and GK and even Bismarck Tirpitz and their sisters, they have a problem being burnt down.
Yes.
Now, the thing with me is like I mostly play ranked, so you don't get that many fires because there's not that many HE,
less
guns
spam
targeting you.
Yeah.
My other problem with exactly what you like about Schlieffen line and therefore Rupprecht, the speed puts me in a position where I die before I got there too early.
This
if that
is
makes
true.
sense. Like
yes,
because I'm so used to slow poke beast that the main tech tier line is or their premiums that I end up always where I don't want to be and I die too easy and then I get frustrated. So it's one of those things where I am absolutely aware that these ships are really good.
Yeah.
And if there was no main tech tier line German, like the GK now Preußen, this would probably be one of my favorite tech tier lines, the Schlieffen one.
Mm-hmm.
But since the beefy boys exist,
you got to go with the beefy boys. Yeah. Well,
yep.
I think that this has actually been a really interesting discussion, and the survivability of those other lines is definitely real. I am going to veto your trash to save Prinz Rupprecht from the trash heap, and we'll smash it. But this is really great conversation about those two lines because I do know you're a big fan of that Kurfürst line. And what's crazy is I wound up really liking Preußen. Whereas I think Kurfürst is kind of fine, but once I got Preußen, I don't know why Preußen it works
because
for me.
Main guns are better. And
the main guns,
that.
I do, and it does work for me. And I don't know, I don't have a lot of games in Preußen either, but I've had good experiences with it most of the time. And so,
it's not a bad tip.
Yeah, it's funny that Preußen's probably my favorite of the three, even though I think if you surveyed 1,000 wargaming or World Warships players, they would all say Schlieffen.
For the least.
20 people would say they like your ship and 20 people would say they like my ship and everybody else would say Schlieffen. And that's fine, of course, to get those thoughts out there and have those opinions. Of course, the ship's quite popular. So I'm going to spend a veto, my last veto. So now all I have.
I would say I wouldn't.
Yeah, go ahead.
I wouldn't use my Uno reverse on this anyways because I do respect this
no, I wouldn't expect that you would, but yeah. Well, let's hit the old smash button here.
She's smashable.
This might be one of the last ships.
We got to be getting close to the end, I assume. It could have, maybe it already was the last ship because we won't know until I hit spacebar again and we get a rerun. Nope, we got one more. Molotov, okay. At least one more. In fact, hang on. I can probably figure out how many ships we've done. Why don't you take us through Molotov while I count how many ships we've done over here in the log file?
The low tier was like 6 and under premium Soviet cruisers. Very, very strong in general.
This is the last ship, actually. Now we know.
So
Molotov has, people think of Kirov and Molotov and they confuse them, right? So Molotov's the HE spamming one with like a 13 or 14 second reload, I think. And I think
reload with the commander is 12.5 seconds and 15.5 range.
And these are they 180s? I should pull this up.
They're 180s. Yes.
Yeah.
They're 180s.
So they're punchable, but the fire chance is particularly decent on this
fire chance on these 14%. It has hydro and the almost standard kind of tech tree 4-kilometer torpedoes that you can only defend yourself if someone comes around the corner. Like basically that's what it is because you don't have smoke or anything like that. She does have spotting aircraft as well. So this ship has a potential of it's in hands of a really good player. This can farm 100k damage in a low tier game. Yes. And since it's a premium ship, it can print money.
Tier 6 money, but yeah, you can't. You'll get credits.
Yeah.
For sure.
Exactly. Yeah. I have the same problem with these ships as I have with Schlieffen, where I somehow always end up. So funny enough, like I really love playing Moskva, for example. It's one of my favorite ships and one of my most played ships. But lower tier Soviet premium cruisers, for some reason, I am never in a good position. And it's like Nevsky, like you have to be in a really good spot to maximize. It's positioning for these ships is like so crucial. I mean, it's important in general in this game, but it's so crucial for these ships. And I just die. I just die, and I never managed to do something with it. So they're very rough for me to play. But they're so strong in good hands. They can even, because of their range, because its range goes to like 17, 18, I don't even know. Whatever is 20% on top of 15.5.
Yeah, it's gonna be
so
like
they
18.
They can farm for the safe distance. They're such a good ship. The guns, obviously, Soviet guns, very precise. Like you will not have a problem hitting things. I get exposed and I die, and I'm not enjoying this experience at all.
That's interesting.
I'll let you go about it.
It's funny because whenever I'm one of those people who confuses Molotov and Kirov and Kotovsky and Mikoyan and like all those boats. There's like a billion of these.
Makarov
like
as well.
Makarov, and then you can throw in Budyonny and Murmansk and Krasny Krim and all these boats to make it complicated.
There's a lot of them. There's 5, 6, 7. There's a lot of them.
Bunch of these little Soviet cruisers, and Molotov is one that I always seem to perform well in, but what you describe is very real. So when Kirov, to talk about Molotov, let's talk about Kirov for a minute. Kirov used to be a tech tree ship. It was the tier 5 Soviet cruiser on the line to Moskva, back when that used to be the top of the tech line. And then it was moved out and became a coal ship. You can get Kirov out of the coal store. I believe Kirov is a great boat. But when I played through the tech line, I hated that boat so much. It was such a glass cannon. And I was too far forward, and I was poorly positioned, and I wasn't bow in. And when I was bow in, I felt like I was getting rained on by, HE spam and all these things. And I hated playing Kirov. And like we talked earlier with Nuremberg, I came back to Kirov later now that it's a premium, and I can do amazing things in that boat now, and I have amazing games and I have a lot of fun. Molotov doesn't quite Kirov the same way Kirov does, but it's the fire chance and the fires per minute and stuff on it works really nicely. So because it has the range that you mentioned and the fire chance, you can play up with it, which is great. You can play against higher tier ships and survive, but you will absolutely be punished. You will absolutely suffer if you give anybody a half a chance to do anything against the ship, because it is also kind of glass cannony. I like Molotov, but I don't know that it's popular with the community at large.
Let me just tell you something. Kirov has the same guns. It's tier 5. So Kirov has the same guns.
Same number of guns too,
and
I think.
Longer range. He's 16.3.
Yep.
And Molotov is 15.5. So you already have more range. Same guns and the spotter.
Yeah, and the... What's the DPM, I think?
Kirov's 13.5.
Kirov's DPM is lower, but not substantially. It's about 25,000 damage lower. 190 versus 164. But I remember when Molotov was new, being like, 5, why would I ever play this instead of Kirov, right? Kirov is better. I remember having those conversations. Molotov's initial velocity is a little bit faster as well. The shell flight time is about 1.3 seconds better. Again, it's a tier up, right? You're making a great point by talking about that. But I remember thinking Kirov's just as good. Kirov's a great ship, and we're not talking about Kirov, even though I keep bringing it up, but. Molotov's one that I like. I think that people don't like Molotov, but I would say that I want to smash Molotov. It sounds like maybe you want to trash Molotov.
I'm
or maybe you're indifferent.
I don't really care about it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I don't hate the ship. Like if we're talking about all of these ships, my choice is Murmansk, like tier 5, tier 6 premium.
I like Murmansk.
And then I would rather play Mikoyan than any of these.
Mikoyan?
Kind of
what?
Funny.
Mikoyan? McQueen is is terrible. It's only bad.
I know.
It's constructed of
different.
bad. What? Oh wow. This I don't even know what to do right now.
It's better for me.
Why? How?
I don't know.
That's amazing.
It looks so much better than any of these ships as well. It's just okay. It will come up one day and we'll talk about it.
Sure, it will, but it's only like six barrels. Okay, but we're good.
Yeah, it has less barrels.
It does have,
but
yeah.
I'm not gonna veto it, man. I'll let you have it. I just don't care about this ship. That's what it is.
Yeah, and I think we're gonna absolutely. I think we'll bump into those things. If you don't feel strongly enough to smash it, then I think letting it or to trash it, letting it go through is probably the right call.
I don't like if I end up in a game with Molotov, it's okay. I have 50% of having a good game, and being okay, feeling all right. It's not gonna piss me off or anything.
Yeah.
And I know if I die, it's my mistake. The ship has potential. It's not the ship. It's me.
You know what's crazy?
So I just.
Well, no. It's just crazy. Nobody plays Molotov. I played it like last
it's not
week,
very popular ship.
which is interesting that it came up. And I played it once recently. I don't even remember where. Maybe I have it on my EU account and I was doing snowflakes, or maybe I played it on my NA account for snowflakes or something. But like, I never choose, but you never see it ever. Like, it's just not out there.
It's very rare ship. Yeah.
And I don't even know how do you get it? Can you buy it? I don't know. That's maybe.
I can check.
I don't even know if you can. Like I said, I think Molotov's a fine boat. And I do find that I perform well in it, but I find it odd that there's just a lot of these Soviet cruisers mid-tier, and that's one. So I think what I'll do is while you're looking that up,
Molotov 4,850 dubs.
So it's a doubloon ship, and 4,850 is about 19 bucks US money.
Kiro is 4,300. Honestly, if we're to give suggestion, I'd say just get Kirov rather than Molotov.
Well, and get Kirov for coal. Get it for free.
Yeah, true.
If you could get Molotov for free, sure. But
for price of the blues, my choice would be Murmansk, which is 3,300. It's like so much cheaper.
Murmansk is really great. It's
I like that ship.
I do too. I have like 160 battles in Murmansk. I have a lot of battles in it. I bought that as one of my early premiums and played the ever-loving crap out of it. So definitely recommend Murmansk as well. It's a Omaha, so know that it's going Omaha. In. But it has more range. It's more maneuverable. It's got a lot of cheats that Omaha doesn't have. It's got better torpedoes. Like, it's kind of a really nice Omaha. Maybe the best Omaha in the game.
This is how good Molotov is. We end up talking about like 4 different ships to like explain Molotov feelings. And
I know.
That's how I feel about it. It's like just another.
It's just kind of there. Yeah, I think that's fair.
Yeah.
I think we'll call it a narrow smash. We'll smash it, but just barely.
Sure.
She smashable.
Well, all right. That's our last ship today. Cheg, what did you think of the show? It went differently than I thought it was going to go. I didn't think it was bad.
How? What? In which way?
I don't know.
I'm curious.
I think we were both. I think it is exactly what I wanted it to be, and I wasn't thinking it would go quite like it did. I think we had great conversations. I think we got to talk about a lot of boats, and I like that we elicited some emotions there, which I thought maybe we wouldn't have, but we did. So I was really excited by that.
No, it was everything I thought it would be, and
perfect. That's good.
I just had a lot of fun. When this was suggested, and then we talked about it, you and me, after Sin suggested it. The first thing I said is we played all the ships. We actually play a lot of ships. Like, neither of us is stat. We're
not like a single tier player. I don't care about the stats,
so I'll play everything just because I want to experience all the ships.
Yeah,
and we have enough experience to talk about it, obviously from the perspective of enjoyment of the game, because neither of us is like top tier player or whatever.
Right.
And we talk a lot. Both of us talk a lot, which is, I knew it. I knew it. And then we're both cheeky enough to like, stab each other a tiny bit, not to get angry with some vetoes and whatnot. It was just cool.
Yeah.
And I loved it. But I did expect to have fun. Like, last couple of times I talked about this, I was like, yeah, really, I can't wait to do this because I know it's going to be fun. I also, for those who don't know, when Clyde was prepping this show, and thank you for investing a lot of time, much more than I did. It's Kada might potentially show up and do this instead of me, for example, and I can't wait. It's like a format that I can enjoy. I can have this, I can have this in the background while I'm playing ships or something else, and listen to you and Skada maybe talk about like a random. I think the random factor is so cool. I think you get stripped a little bit from that surprise moment because you kind of know which ships are there. But for the other person, it's so enjoyable because you're like, oh, okay, Aquila.
Let's think about Aquila.
I never thought about this,
Yeah, you didn't get a preview
so
at all. I forgot about half those ships were in the list, but I knew that some of them were coming. So that's cool.
Like if we do this again, I don't want to know which ships are in the queue.
Definitely. And chat, let us know what you think. If you're watching this on YouTube later, hit me up in the comments, hit Cheg up in the comments, and let us know. I will include links to his YouTube channel, his Twitch, his podcasts and things. I know you're taking a break at the moment, but we'll still put those links out there so people can track you down if they wish to. Cheg is in the Clyde Plays Discord. He's got his own Discord as well. If you want, I can put that link in there, and then we can share that information, get that out to folks so they can find you online. Let us know if this was fun. Like I said, we'll probably do it again. I think it was fun for us, and hopefully that translated and became fun for you guys. Someone in chat said we were 5 minutes short of 3 hours, so this is going to be a long one. We did not do this in 90 minutes like we had hoped, or like I had predicted, I should say. And we shouldn't have been surprised. But we'll definitely do this again.
I'm not surprised.
Definitely not, yeah. And I know that...
And I'd be happy to do it again.
Yeah, it'd be great to have you back for sure. And I know you mentioned that we're going to do a special episode with Skada at some point. And so he and I have been talking about that a little bit. He was excited to see the first episode, and now he has. I think with all that said, I think we can come and pop out of this for the day. Where's the button I want to push over here?
Before we leave, big shout out to Miss Clyde.
This is true.
For doing the audio stuff. I love it. I'm sure everyone else will love it. And, that's amazing. So thank you for doing that. Yeah, thank you.
I'll let her know for sure. And you guys might have missed it, but the voiceover here when we come in and out of the show is Mrs. Clyde. She did a little audio recording for us. So I will see you guys on the other side.
Thank you for watching Smash or Trash. Don't forget to like and subscribe.